They don't. Colors don't exist. It's true.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to Yes and Dragons, where we debate the minutia of first person phenomenal experience
Yeah,
and the
I feel like
nature
there's
of
there's a
narrow
there's a
versus wide
root
content.
thing that you have about what exists and what doesn't that really that's the core of these
I think
arguments.
a lot of things exist outside of just being scientifically existing. Like, even if colors, like, not like,
Well, and color is relative to a physical observable property, which is wavelength. So
yeah.
Wavelength, color and wavelength don't overlap in a way that people often assume it does.
Yeah, a friend of mine is texting and telling you to stop that.
Well, that was a color fact. Let's have a Chicago fact. And that is his version of today was the coldest day ever in Chicago. So you may see we're not here at the lovely Chicago RPG today, even though we usually are and we love it there, because it's so cold. But this fact is to remind you it could be even worse, like on today in 1985.
when also to remind you about how it could be worse. On January 20th, 1985, Ronald Reagan's second inauguration, most of it had to be canceled because of the extreme cold, and he had to just have a private ceremony.
So now you know. I also forgot. I have two shout outs to give. One to my friend Morgan for being our 60th YouTube subscriber. There you go, Morgan. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Morgan.
Yeah, thank you, Morgan. And then to my friend Carolyn, who, not to be outdone, decided to name a shrimp after us. And its name is James Starkissa Librin Parquinius.
It's a Roman senator.
I suppose so.
There's no such thing as Roman senators.
And
That's true.
she told me I am the shrimp mother. So there we go.
Shrimp mommy, millions of tiny little shrimp filter feeding teeth.
Yeah, no, that's much more her jam, but, like, thank you, Carolyn, we appreciate your, shrimp. It may be our mascot now, even though we already have a little dragon.
I could redraw the dragon as a little shrimp.
Cool
I
stuff.
will ask her if she wants us to.
A little shrimpkin. Okay, so yeah, welcome to Yes and Dragons, coming to you not live or live, but not from. This is a new setup, so let us know how it goes. But coming to you guys from our own places, our own homes, live. And as Libby said, it is dangerously cold outside right now, so we decided to try this virtual setup as an alternative for a live stream to see how that might go. And hopefully that goes well because it's sincerely a relief to be able to know this might be an alternative should one of us, for example, get sick or something.
Is anybody monitoring these chat?
I'm not. Should we? I mean, we should, but should
I
I?
have it up on a second screen.
Okay, Parker's got it. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Parker.
Why don't we go around, introduce ourselves? First, we have Esther. Start it with you.
Hello, I'm Esther Inglis Arkell, and I play Nadezhda Irinsu. And I am streaming from the bottom of a well full of snowflakes.
Aw,
Whimsical and ominous.
whimsiness. Okay. And then next we have Carissa.
Yeah, hi. I'm Carissa Lenning, and I play Shibble, now with tentacles.
I'm Parker, and I play Sam Seraph, and I knew my movement was going to be underground, but this is ridiculous.
Haha. But
I'm Libby Kramer, and I play Cornelia Freist, a fairy with a rapidly progressing fear of heights.
that tracks.
A very rational.
And I'm Jaime. I'm the GM, and I'm opening this in a new browser tab and checking on chat myself now. And it's really disorienting to have myself be observing myself 3 seconds in the past. So I'm going to minimize this
Yeah.
window.
I have it scrolled down below the actual video, so I'm just seeing the chat part.
I think so. Stream
Yeah.
Elements actually incorporates this into.
I
Riverside.
have
didn't
it
know
there.
that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just sent a
That's
test
great.
message, so we're good. Disregard all my asks about the chat. We are good.
That's incredible. Awesome. I'm gonna do a little rearranging of my audio setup here, and hopefully this will not get in the way. Okay, cool. Do not disregard. We are stuck in a well and need help. Okay. Well,
Hello, Elliot. We're stuck in a well. Only Esther's stuck in a
How
well.
may I help? Only Esther. Okay, cool. Let us cover a little bit of what happened previously on the last episode of Yes and Dragons. You guys were sort of exploring from a position of a car that is also a boat on a river that is full of flotsam and jetsam, the aftermath of devastating explosions and earthquakes that had been wreaking havoc on Vescarre. And you sort of observed the city coming apart at the seams. You landed as you crossed the river in the New Harbor borough, and you found it expectedly quiet, but unexpectedly unmagical. And then
Oh, well, also
you progress. Sorry?
dared a shivel to drink river water.
Oh, yeah, that happened on the way across. Of course, that makes sense. Yeah, that happened on the way across. And that was, we'll see how portentous that was.
Portentous. What a great word.
Thank you. I studied for the SATs once. Oh, we'll see how the effects of that bear out on what happens with the party. For the time being, Shibble is inverted color scheme and has a crown of wiggling. What do you call the spikes on a crown? Is there a word for that?
Mines?
Tines?
Rays of sort of wiggling tines off of their head.
That's just
Like,
because
you-
we want everything to be
Corona of
forks.
tentacles.
right?
A Crown of Tentacles. I love that book. And yeah, so that happened on the way across because Shibble doesn't say no to a dare, I guess. And yeah, so you felt you.
Did you ever think Shibble would say no to a dare?
No,
Yeah. Don't be
no. I mean,
surprised.
I guess like a really boring dare maybe, but
Shibble's motto is
I know.
laugh, bet.
Bet. Also asterisk fuck doors. But yeah, you guys drove through High Arcadia. I'm sorry, drove through New Harbor, proceeded into High Arcadia, which is the most defended borough of the city. And when you were there, you sort of discovered that the primary physical defenses of the city were no longer functioning, that gates were just sort of open, and like security forces were not quite sure what to do. They seemed to be in a state of unpreparedness. And you guys sort of saw strange magic bleeding into or possibly out of like the ground itself. And then you moved from that. Well, you had a couple interactions in High Arcadia that more or less emphasized that you should traverse further, even as the wall behind you seemed to be collapsing and buildings were continuing to fall, and the taller buildings were the most likely to fall and cause damage. You encountered a group of roving wealthy, high class people who had no longer able to access basic magical functionality and turn into sort of like a horde of people trying to steal the magic power that you seem to be trailing behind you. And then you arrived at the Stormspire, opposite side of the river, and were sort of traversing these rents in the ground that were occurring as these in the aftershocks that were still happening were shaking. Like they're big, like just gashes in the surface of the city were opening up and things were falling into them. And you guys approached one of those, started to climb into one. I believe at this point you encountered Katerina,
Yes.
who was like, "Hey, so you brought my car." Excuse me. She's like, "Hey, you guys, you brought my car. That's great because I have to leave now." And you guys exchanged the car. Katerina went to leave, not before giving a small vote of encouragement and a message. And what was the tone? What's the best way to describe the tone? It was, "Oops, I didn't mean to tell you this, but here's the tea." The there's apparently some way to traverse the planet that travels through or around or near the Stormspire, and that the Vexen uh mafia basically had been aware of this for at least a little bit and using it. Katerina, obviously a member of this mafia, seemed to have this knowledge. We'll see what that happens or what happens with that. And then you guys climbed down deeper into this chasm that was sort of bubbling up under the city, and you found yourselves in a confusing underground village that Azure described as, she called it the Underfen.
We fell a whole lot.
You fell so much. You guys fell so much that Cordelia died a little bit from it.
Cordelia did mechanically die while I was not here.
Yes. And I did what I thought was probably the best course of action when I accidentally kill a PC when the player isn't even present in this game. And that is, I did not, or the death move I chose was the most conservative. So we'll resolve that a little bit in a moment. But in the meantime, you guys were sort of pushed on as you're described the village, and you guys explored the village a little bit. And yeah, you guys were able to figure out that there were these conduits for ley line, like flow that approached the storm spire in some way. I think Azure described this village as a place where the fungal had previously lived, but it wasn't very well known. And from there, we now open on Cordelia.
Who must resolve something.
Yeah, so Libby, go ahead and describe what we see.
I mean, I just gotta take it where Jaime left us off. So I think last you saw her, she was slumped against a wall, drinking vodka straight out of the bottle like water. So I'm not sure how much has been consumed, but it's been probably a noticeable amount. The first thing mechanically we need to do is follow through on our avoid death action. So what this means for people who are unfamiliar with the rules of Daggerheart and death moves, because I'm pretty sure we've only seen Blaze of Glory and Risk It All on our show,
Yeah, I think that's
is
right.
I have to roll my fear die. And if the roll is lower than my level, so a 1 or a 2 in this case, then I take a scar, which means I lose a hope slot permanently. Oh, it's a 6, we're fine. Okay, that out of the way, now I'll take the action I wanted to take before you guys come back.
you?
You're not gonna kill me when you come back, are you? Maybe don't come
Esther's gonna
back.
drag you down into her well.
Yeah, Esther. Well, we already know Libby's canon as like a sort of documentarian in the world and also the cause of the apocalypse, maybe, according to Parker last session, or Sam last session. So maybe Esther is also a well witch. We never know. Yeah, so she is kind of slumped there with her, I guess, bottle of vodka. Sets it down, reaches into her bag, and pulls out her small dagger and is going to kind of slit in the lining of the bag and take out her phrased talk rock, which has been off for 10 years.
Oh my god, how many notifications are you gonna have?
I don't know. I mean, it's probably not going to get any because the spell grid's kind of down. The screen is still cracked from when Vay found it and threw it across the room. Hello, Jordan. And she is just going to boot it up and go into the contacts folder, assuming that we can do that without the grid, and look for her mother's personal number.
Okay.
Is that something I can do, Jaime?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, then I'm going to take that number and take one of my 4 other phones, which will be a tin can. We're not using a Raspberry or the Ardent phone, and I'm going to attempt to call it. It's okay if she doesn't answer. I'll leave a voicemail.
Wait, you. Okay,
I have 5 phones. Yes, Esther.
If you fail your death move, you permanently lose one of your phones.
One moment.
My hope slots is exactly the amount of phones I have at any given time. I'm so bad at keeping track of them.
That's so funny, honestly.
Also, I'm going to say it as part of my function as the mean old well witch. You couldn't just write down your mother's phone number?
You know she burnt that stuff up ages ago. She was an emo teen, okay? Well, she wasn't cool enough to be emo. She was
The most Gen Z thing I've ever heard. No, I've never heard of a phone book.
We haven't
I have the
encountered
legal
another-
phones in the lining of my purse.
It's like her mother's tin can. Her mother's normal number is probably pretty available, but her mother's tin can, probably not.
And we haven't encountered your mother in the game, right?
No.
No. I'm trying to think of a way to display my fear tracking.
Your fears. Are you spending a fear?
Yeah, I think I'm going to spend a fear on this.
Scary.
I don't know how to display this here. But I'll just have to
Just put it on your shoulder like a parrot.
prepare it.
Or you could attach it to your back using magnets like these. Yeah.
This is going to fall. We are absolutely going to lose this. There's no way this stays. Oh God, it's
You
already
can just
dying.
pick it up and like show us every
Yeah, I think
time
I'll do
you
that.
remove one.
Okay, so yeah, I spent a fear here. It goes to voicemail,
Mhm.
but it doesn't go to voicemail naturally. You are sent to voicemail.
Rude.
She's reading your calls.
She know it's me. It's my tin can. It's probably my soul print. Okay, well,
I think you would reasonably understand that she might not even know it's you.
that's true. She's probably like, my son just died. I don't want to talk to anybody. So I guess the voicemail I'll leave her is I'm gonna first say one of the only phrases Cordelia knows in Ancient Fairy, which is the way I picture it, the Darners a little bit less assimilated than the Fraists. So when they were acquired into Fraist via marriage, as all Fraist marriages are, they probably kept a little bit of some of their autonomy. And one way would be through like code phrases in Ancient Fairy, because we know the Fraists are not fairies, they're mostly humans. And so it's going to be, I think is it called a waggle dance when a bumblebee is like, here's really information. So it would be the fairy word for that, is what I will say.
Are you doing an actual waggle dance?
No, it's not a visual medium. It's just the word for what it's called, Parker.
I mean, I was just really enjoying that thing.
I'm sad and drunk. I'm not dancing. If I was happy and drunk, maybe I would be. And so I say that, and then I'm going to say, Mother, it's me. He's dead. I saw the crash. I am happy to exchange information about that and also a very embarrassing tidbit about Araminta in exchange for knowing where I stand. I think I'm supposed to be less sad about this than I am. I don't really know how to feel. I would be open to talking to you. And then I hang up. And that's all I'm going to say to my mother. So she can call me back whenever she wants to. It's a fear or a golden opportunity, I don't know. But she now has like basically a code word for, I know this is my daughter, or somebody at least in the Darner inner circle. And also I gave her a couple of potential leads on things I think she might be interested in.
So I'll note that this is something you would know and be aware of in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That Talk Rock signal is very unstable right now.
Yep.
Like even as you are hang up the phone, you see your own signal is fluctuating from full to zero over and over.
Yeah, it's like kind of, it turns from analog almost to digital, right? Where it's like a spike and then nothing, a spike and then nothing.
Question
Yep.
about that.
Yep.
Does Talk Rock signal kind of follow what you would expect from like a cell phone signal? What I mean by that is like, if the grid is working normally, with the fact that we're way underground, would it still be usually able to get good signal, or would it be poor signal from that?
I mean, it is analogous, yeah. So I think the fact that you're underground plays at least some bit of role in this. And I'll even say that like the signal's obviously stronger when Nadezhda's closer.
She's coming back.
So yeah.
Just so you know, Livy, the Twitch chat comes into our chat, but the Riverside chat does not go to Twitch.
Well, thank you for letting me know. It just only goes to us. Okay.
Oh, I can actually show it? Interesting. Do you want me to show it? It says show
you
on
want
stream
to.
for 10 seconds.
Wait, that's so funny. Jordan is the DM for one of my home games, and yeah, that's why Jordan was like, "This is familiar." I was
This feels familiar.
I
Something about
didn't
this
make.
I've
I
seen
did not
before.
choose this. This was while I was gone. In my defense, it is
That's
just what happened.
entirely fair. I chose this. Who knew that we were converging on a similar convergent evolution moment?
Mhm.
But yeah, so I want that to be part of the emotional context for the leaving the message. That signal may or may not be. There's a little bit. Maybe Cordelia has a little bit of like hope/fear in that
Yeah.
the signal is intermittent right now.
Well, to even like reach out is kind of a weird choice.
I was shocked
But like,
for sure.
we're not getting there on land. I want to know what's happening. And we had already 2 episodes ago discussed that Mother would be kind of, oh, hello, Pluto, would be kind of my choice. So I think now that she's seen that, like, the land approach is not working, that maybe just tossing something out into the void might work. If it doesn't, we didn't lose anything.
Okay. So where do we want to go from there? I mean, you still have the scene.
I mean, I can just do my little downtimes if you want.
Yeah,
I
'cause we're
can
gonna
get
do a short rest.
my
Yeah, you
HP.
guys did it for
Oh
sure.
wait, that's a D4. Let's see. So I'm at 2 out of 6 right now. Oh wow. I rolled a 4. The bottle of vodka cured me, I guess. I don't know. We're back at full health.
Oh, nice.
So there we go. Where's my pencil?
This vodka
Yeah,
was steeped in antibiotics or something.
probably. Well, there's like all sorts of like penicillin is a fungus, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
So, and we're in a
That's why
mushroom
that's literally
land.
like that's
So
yeah.
it's possible. It's very possible. Okay, you guys can come back now. She didn't want you guys to see her fraced phone. And she actually like slides it back into the lining and she doesn't have a sewing kit, so she can't sew it back up, but it's in there.
All right, so you guys can take the scene.
Okay. So I guess Nadezhda comes back dragging with, let's see, automatic weapon on her back,
You've got all the guns,
two
right?
magic pistols,
So many
The guns you made me steal.
actual non-magic guns tucked into her bosom area, a whip on her hip, a rope around one arm, and trailing a sex swing.
Oh my god, I
That's
forgot.
right. It was your
Yeah.
harness.
Well, I didn't
I
forget.
forgot.
And I guess would check in with Cordelia. Hello.
Hi, I feel a lot better now.
Oh, yes, you look a lot better than dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
I
there?
never thought I would die by falling off a building, not by falling off a rope ladder.
I mean, really, you fell onto a building.
That's even scarier.
You fell into a lot of things. How is the head?
The same, I guess.
All right. I guess she kind of sits down next to you. So, the little mushroom tells us that there is something guarding what we need to get. It may be what we fought back in the Iron Ward. Or bigger. So,
That thing wasn't so bad. It's not a building, so it's fine.
I guess I'm going to pull out the 2 non-magical guns. Who wants one of these? Come
Should
on,
already
one of
have
these.
one.
I mean, I will take a non-magical gun. I thrive with non-magical items.
There you go.
I guess I should probably take one.
Yeah, go for it, Sam. I don't know that I need a gun to be lethal.
At least yourself.
If past experience confirms anything.
You got any of that vodka left?
Oh, yeah, here you go.
And Sam sits down next to you.
So I guess I turn to Cordelia. If your brother and your cousin are dead,
Mm-hmm. Wait, my cousin? You mean the whitetail
Well,
helicopter?
Some
I don't-
other distant family member.
Yeah, I don't know who that one belongs to. Could be anybody.
it is almost certainly a phrase.
Jaime, did Morella's helicopter have a tail color?
No, it did not.
Okay.
Those are reserved. So there are like identifying features on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The colors specific ones are like they're like not sigildry, but they're like
It's like a-
flags on a field or something, right?
Trademarked color.
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah. So all the rest of them have numerical designations. Alphanumeric designations.
I am almost only saying the value of a living phrased heir may go up considerably.
Mm,
You have a plan for should this happen.
no.
I
I really don't
feel
know
like
what
if-
will happen.
50 phrase die, then maybe.
Well, yeah, then, yeah, they'll be in charge, and then you guys are in trouble. But,
For
would-
all we know, 50 phrases did die.
I wish the cousin tracker was working.
yeah, it's probably still 404, right?
I mean, I guess I'll check it, assuming it's not working.
You're gonna check it now?
Yeah.
Um, It is full blown 404 right now.
Yeah, so we will never know.
It's just a
I
picture of Cordelia shrugging that they
yeah.
photoshopped for 404.
I've never really actually read my contract, which is probably not surprising to anybody here. So I don't know. I am in billions of IC of debt. Let me remind you. So I don't know. Someone could have something up their sleeve, but I think, the lowest of 6 is similar to the lowest of 12 in that you're still the lowest.
You need 12 heirs and now you have 6. The lowest is a lot more valuable.
Yeah, but it's relative.
Only something to think of. And
I guess
Shibble,
we'll find out when we get power back.
how does the mushroom do?
How does the mushroom do? How is Azure doing?
I think Azure is
Because I feel like last we checked in, it's like excited to be in this place because the
yes.
Underfen, it feels like home.
Yeah,
but
it
there's
feels
also
more
like that underlying fear of the thing that is waking up.
Yeah, I think you have exactly hit the emotional tenor here. There's an excitement with an underlying anxiety. That underlying anxiety seems to be it's a sort of a childlike joy at being here. With a little, I think that Azure's not hiding any sort of emotions right now. So, like, feeling very free and able to express herself here. I think, one, she stays very small and she seems to be very excited about being here in a childlike way. But there's a distinct sense of, and like, she says occasionally, like, I hope it is less dangerous than I feel like it's going to be, or stuff like that.
That's scary.
I feel like at some point we would have a conversation about the whole Vey thing. So we didn't really get to have that conversation last time.
With Cordelia?
Between Sam and Cordelia.
What's wrong with using someone, Sam? You guys are all using me. I know it. You
Come
just
on.
used me to steal a bunch of guns.
You're a friend.
Vey's my friend too. So what's wrong with her using me?
She threw you away when you weren't useful to her anymore.
No, it wasn't that. She threw me away when she found out I was a priest.
I mean,
Can't really blame her for that. Can
I'm
you?
just saying she doesn't care about anybody but herself.
Well, I care about her, and whatever she's got going down there is more dangerous than she believes. I'm trying very hard not to make it my problem,
Yeah, that's good.
but also if it gets too dangerous, we might have to intervene. Are you equipped to do that?
I mean, look, I have no problem trying to take Vey down a peg, but are you equipped to be able to go against her if we have to?
If she becomes an Eidolon, then yes. If not, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Do you think she will? We did steal their god. Well, their god preferred us.
And they did.
Is the lasagna lady gonna become an Eidolon? Do you know? That's what Azure
Uh,
called them.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And I'm super drunk right now. Remember, Jaime?
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think Azure is shocked by the question, is sort of unsure how to respond. I think she just kind of says, I don't know. I don't know how I would know.
I mean, they seem to have a unity of purpose that leads to eidolonness.
Do you know much about Eidolons, Azure?
I don't know. That's a new thing. That's the new thing.
Do you know about the god in Sam's head?
I think, have you guys talked about it at all with Azure?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
There
We
was like
talked
an
about it with
above the
Vey.
table conversation briefly.
Yeah.
We mentioned it at Vey's place, and Azure
Yeah.
was there, but whether or not Azure was focused on us remains to be seen. It probably
was not
no.
focused on, yeah, no, Azure was fully focused on Shibble there.
Yep.
I think Azure just sort of blinks and continues dancing. Like there's like a quick stop of like, huh? And then just sort of continues dancing.
You know what? Azure, I think you got this thing right. Whatever life throws at you, you just keep dancing.
Like nobody's watching.
So I put my hand on the ley line tubule
Yes.
and saw the moose, right?
Yeah.
Last time. I guess I remember that Leo's little Andasi thing, companion, is a fly agate mushroom. And I have the little thick teste mug with my family's little trees with me. So I am going to kind of snap to get Azure's attention, put my hand on the allay tubule and show them the little, see if I can channel the little mushroom and say, does the person who goes around with this look familiar to you at all? You know where they are?
What?
Where he is?
Interesting. Okay. Azure looks at you in confounded befuddlement, just full. I don't understand the question you're asking.
Don't worry,
And
I
then
don't believe in it either, as I'm holding.
she kind of leans forward. She puts her hand on, like near your hand. She doesn't touch you, but she puts her hand near your hand as if to like another sensory way to like reach out to understand you. And state above the table for just for my own clarity. State what the sort of heart of the question is.
The heart of the question is what Nadeshda is doing is essentially checking every box that is available to her, including the boxes that she has made for herself. So she looks mushroom. Leo's little spirit is a mushroom. She just saw her spirit by touching the mushroom stuff. Essentially throwing something at a wall and seeing if anything at all sticks. Because she has, there's been no concrete way to get to any of them, really. So this is just what she has. Essentially, she's looking for if there is
An
any
answer.
connection that she could make or if he is doing okay.
I think that when she reaches out to you, I think she looks for a second, like waiting for permission to touch you.
All right. Come on.
And she does. And in that moment, you feel an overwhelming amount of not sympathy, but empathy. And this deep sense of like, I understand what it means to look for something that you think is lost. And you also feel the sort of sorrow that she has in not being able to help you answer this question. She does not know what this is.
Well, thank you. I will let you get back to your dance.
But I think as she lets go, you see your brother's Andasi kind of out of the corner of your eye. Give me, what's your arcane sense thing?
She can just
It
do
just
it.
it is arcane
It's
sense.
just a thing.
It's
So
just
yeah,
there.
you see sort of at the corner of your eye, you see like a fly from the red sort of, um, and it's large and it's not moving or anything. And I think, and you see that your magical actions and intentions here are strongly echoed by your surroundings. So you don't know if that came from you or from something else, but it probably involves her touching your hand and sort of creating even greater sort of feedback loop.
All right. Well, thank you.
But you do see that she's excited and happy to help you. I think on top of that.
Seeing this happen, Cordelia is going to remember something she learned from that crit I got on the lower questions about ley lines and is going to try and like touch the conduit and see if she can sense Morella at all. And I think she's going to ask like, hey, Azure, can you help me find somebody?
Yeah, I think Azure will make herself available to you to help in
Okay.
this moment. How do you try to find Morella?
I mean, honestly think it's just like the emotional like tether of like, this was my mentor, I killed her. There's a lot of unfinished business here, kind of attached to that. Especially because right now is a very emotional time for Cordelia.
When isn't?
I mean, that's fair,
But
but
it's Esther's fault she does poetry. Thank you, Esther. So yeah, I think it's just like reaching on like the memory of it versus like, because
that's cool that you say
Cordelia
that.
doesn't know much about magic really. I mean, the only spell she knew before Ardent was Rain of Blades. Like, she's
But
not.
also, you talked and reached out to your aunt
Yes, I did. That's right. In a similar manner.
in
The
a very
memory
similar
of it.
way.
Are you gonna
Yeah, the
make me do a
memory.
poem about it?
No, I think what you like. Are you reaching out? Are you touching the ley line conduit?
Mm-hmm. Because that's what
So when you
Nadeshda
touch
just
it,
did.
when you touch that ley line conduit, I'm not going to spend a fear on this. Feel a rush of power surge through you.
Scary.
And it's very scary. It really is. I think everybody sees Cordelia's hair kind of stand up, like straight, like she's about to get struck by lightning, kind of. And briefly, all of your devices like beep and turn themselves off and on again. And everything you're surrounded by sort of like springs to life the way that things kind of do around the Dejda a little bit.
Scary.
In that moment, you don't have any sense of anything like when you reached out to your aunt.
Is it like when I got glued to the spire?
It's much more like that. Yes. Specifically, yes.
Because, I mean, it's basically the same thing.
They are very, very similar sensations.
And that's all?
Yeah. You do not have any immediate response. It just feels like this is the wrong tree to bark up, so to speak.
I want to try a similar thing, but to try to sense Rasmodius's presence with the ley line.
Okay. So, how do you go about that?
I think it's just, touching the ley line and just trying to like reach out mentally, just like trying to just form that connection, like almost psychically.
What's your spell casting ability?
Strength.
Give me a strength roll.
I think Cordelia just is like, comes to and is saying the ardent mottos. Progress without boundaries, efficiency through unity, safeguarding tomorrow. What?
That is a 10 with fear.
A 10 with fear. Okay. So I think on a 10 with fear here, one, I'm going to take my fear. It's weird when I don't look at them directly.
See, this is one chance, because if you're not looking at them, they won't exist to you, and you won't remember.
You're not wrong. This might be an effective tool.
That's what happened to me when we did the Christmas show.
Yeah. No, I think the same sort of like surge. You feel that same kind of surge, and for you, this is a horrifying moment. You can feel that God waking up in your head when you touch this.
See, I like draw back.
Yeah. It was too fast for you to tell if there was any awareness from Rasmodius. But if you give me a reaction roll, an instinct reaction roll.
18.
An 18? 18. On an 18, you're like, I'm touching a power line. Rasmodius may have lived in something like a network, but not a power line.
And it has the risk of powering up my head god.
Jehover.
Jehover, yeah.
Oh.
I guess I'm going to turn to Shibble as well. Where did you go when you were not with us?
I mean, prison, but after that, I'm not really sure.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think Shibble told us. I think Shibble just kind of came
There
back.
was a lake. I didn't see a
Described the
house.
scenery. It was the lake house, but you didn't see a house. You described it. I remember.
There was a lake and a forest.
And we all know the lake house is at the only lake in this entire continent, so it has to be the lake house.
The big lake. The large lake.
Yeah.
Probably no other word for a lake that big.
No.
Big, large.
Just a big water.
The lagoon. That's what a lagoon is.
The lake house is a bad place. I'm sorry you had to go there.
I'm not sure they went there. They went to a lake. And the lake house is for the Freist, yes?
It's kind of for everyone. It's a gated community.
I mean, I would say there's two elements required to be at the lake house. A lake and a house. And Shibble only had 50% of those.
Araminta also has a lake house. So there's an Ardent one. There's a Freist one. There's probably an Athenian one.
But when you were in prison, you were in a jail cell? Were there bars?
Jaime, what was my prison like?
Yeah, did Shibble just wake up in that? Or
I
was
think
there
it very strongly implied that Shibble kind of repressed a memory because of awful trauma. I'm not
that I was in a prison and basically got war crimed.
And it was so bad that you phased out of reality into the lake house.
Yeah. But Nadej does not know this and is just trying to figure out when they're not here.
I think that what does Shibble investigate in this moment about this?
What does Shibble investigate? I mean, yeah, I guess if I'm repressing this memory, I guess I'm trying to remember what it was like.
Like you don't have to, by the way. This is just
I
Nadezhda
could.
asking questions. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that Shibble would actually have to give her a complete or honest or anything answer.
I don't think Shibble could be anything but honest.
Yeah, but I think Shiva could start thinking about something and then being like, I don't want to think about that, and just push it away.
So would it be like
Yeah,
an instinct check against yourself?
it
I
could
mean,
be. It
I'll
depends
try
on
and
how
think about it if it'll
you want
help.
to. Okay, yeah. Make an instinct roll.
Instinct. 13 with hope?
Okay. So I think as you reflect on that, what you sort of realize that you didn't think about in the moment was one, you were not wet when you came to. So like wherever you arrived on the side of this lake from, it didn't involve swimming.
Huh.
Your memory has definitely been to some degree affected by something, and you're not sure what.
Hmm.
Because you can recall a bunch of sounds of people screaming, like even moments where you thought maybe you yourself were screaming. But there were no, I think on 13, you would notice there were no, or you would realize there were no footsteps around you, no tracks around you, except the ones that you made. And they came out of the water, but you were not wet.
Okay, yeah. So I will relay all of that to the group.
I think on 13, you kind of realize like, yeah, something happened. However, I got to where I woke up, I was taken there, kind of.
Classic lake house. It's a weird place.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sam, you said we're supposed to fight another, or no, Nadezhda, you said we're supposed to fight another big scary thing.
Something like that was in the Iron Ward. The little turtle friend, little mushroom friend said.
And then that'll go to the lattice at the storms.
Yes.
Hmm.
It cannot get there, or what is it? Is it everyone dies? Is it most of us die?
Everyone dies.
Well, then we better do it.
I basically just died, and I don't recommend it. 2 out of 5 stars.
I mean, you're the most immortal out of all of us, so.
Yeah, I know. I am the most immortal, that's for sure. But I think there has to be maybe a body left. I don't know. We're not going to think about it.
Would you like us to destroy your body? Should you die?
For science.
No, so they cannot bring you back and you will just be dead forever.
Yeah, but what if that doesn't enough and she comes back, but just with no body? That would suck.
These are not helpful questions.
Well, what would she come back as with no body?
Like a weird ghost? I don't know.
For goodness
Like
sake.
like a little dancy shoulder guy, like Azure?
I mean, that's what
seems
she thinks of.
happy.
I don't know.
Well, in any case, does that count as preparing with 2 allies?
Yes, I think so. I think it does.
Awesome.
That's one of my favorite running gags on our show is our stretching the definition of prepare with 2 allies.
It's very funny.
Considering our best method is empathying something until we stress it to death, I would say that working on our connection and empathy with each other is the best way to get that done.
It's true.
RP for
Let's
long.
get ready to shrink this thing to death.
So which one of us gets the extra hope from that? Is it me or Sam? Or Shibble? Honestly, it could be any of us.
I think Shibble.
Well, if you
Think.
insist.
In
I
that
think-
case... No, go ahead, Jaime.
I think that like you're sort of boosted by the notion that you were taken to where however you got out of there, you were taken there by something, and then you were further led by something. So I think maybe you get the sense that something's helping you. You kind of look at Azure.
I'm having a religious experience, and Azure is
kind
my
of a little bit.
deity.
Azure's face, deity.
I looked down at the ground by the lake, and there were 2 sets of footsteps.
Only one.
It was
There's
just
one.
you. You are the you
Yeah.
you've been
Oh,
waiting
but
for.
I'm making the Jesus joke.
No, yes. Yeah.
but that's the point,
No, I
that
get your
there's only
joke.
one.
And
Azure was carrying you.
it was Azure carrying you. Yeah.
Azure was dancing.
Yeah, the footsteps are just spinning in circles. Also, they're not feet, they're tentacles. because Azure doesn't really have feet. Azure has legs, but they're like tripod legs with 3 toes each.
Yeah, it's fractal legs.
Yeah. They grow out like a fractal.
I mean, I guess this is what happened to Fuse too.
And if that's the case, so that means I have 1 downtime action left. I'd like to clear some stress by drunkenly sending a selfie of me driving the stolen boat car to Vay on my old Sparkle
You
account from middle school.
Hell yeah.
I clear all my stress.
By the way, I'm going to send you a picture of Katerina that you can also send to Vay. Or you could put it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just from my middle school's, like, or I guess high school age Sparkle account that, like,
Yeah.
she still checks her high school Sparkle.
Yeah.
She's so
Yeah, for
paranoid.
sure.
Like, that is the most paranoid person we know. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's a selfie of me driving the stolen mob bus boat car.
And the hot babe mob boss. And like, with a caption, loving life.
Yeah,
Life at the lake house.
no,
Life
not the
is an
lake house.
adventure.
I don't like it there.
All right,
She's
so
not
what do you
gonna
guys have?
respond.
Oh no, she's not. No, she's not responding. I mean, again, you're aware that the spell grid is a little fucked up right now, so it may even take some time for it to send.
It's gonna arrive in 9 years.
Yeah, something like that. A little time capsule of a moment. You guys have fully made up. You guys are like, you're there, you're at like a barbecue with your respective partners, and there's a text comes through, and it's just a picture of you and Katerina and you drunkenly driving a mafia car.
I
It's
was
extremely hard to
sober.
explain.
I was sober while driving.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are that's your downtime. Those are your downtime actions. You are now again in this space. Did you guys go back up to the buildings when you
They came to
arrested?
find me.
Yeah, so you were up in the building. You had
Mhm.
fallen to the lowest roof level.
I couldn't really move myself, so they came to find
Yeah.
me.
What do you want to do? I think in this time, Sybil, we have to go find the clock because we have to be able to unlock the past, and we have to be able to find the future, and you are the bridge between the past and the future. So I just really appreciate you putting in all this work and effort, and I'm sorry if you die.
Also be sorry if I die, but I appreciate you too. We're gonna get the clock.
They like nuzzle you.
Aw.
Okay. What do you guys want to do?
Head for the lattice.
Yeah. Well, no, for
Or
the
head for the door, I guess.
monster clock thing.
Yeah, because I could mentical map. I could like see the underfen
We got to see where it was.
in my mind's tentacle,
Your
Oh, right.
and I
Sybil
could
Mind
see
Palace.
this big blacked out spot that seemed like something was guarding something, and I think that's where.
I was saying Shivel managed to access the in-game map. It's just like pulled up like
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't need GPS anymore. We
I
have
mean,
Sybil.
I did get a crit, so.
Yeah, I think you would know that this is very far down from where you are. You will have to descend. I hear a kitty.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Ignore him.
But it should be like it's connected by stairways and stuff, right?
Yeah, so as you descend past the level, this level of this area, there are stairs built into the walls, but they also sort of dissolve into kind of natural paths. It's very deep, and like I said, there's like a very warm red glow that comes out of some unknown source that is sort of uplighting all of you. But you cannot see a bottom of this cavern that you're in, and you know from that vision of the space that effectively you have to descend to the center of the cavern.
So, Azure, how do we get there?
We have to go the way that water goes.
Water falls sometimes. Tell me you don't mean
goes-
that way.
No. It just goes downhill.
Yeah, I think we should take the stairs.
Water or
Okay.
shit.
I do not intend to fall.
I think you guys move past the sort of dangerously cavernous area and move into a more sort of understandable not upside down anymore, natural, wild underground area. And you can still see there are conduits emerging from the ground around you. Some of them are broken, but not most of them aren't. But you do see a couple that are broken. But nonetheless, this is a naturally occurring cavern space.
So the
And this
broken
space
ones,
is sorry?
so with the broken ones, we can see that they're like, I guess, solid on the inside. I mean, because that wasn't necessarily clear with the ones that weren't broken, but
Yeah, you can see that they're solid on the inside. They're like an undifferentiated sort of purple color. When you touch them, they felt like porous clay. And there's sort of a
Shibble,
hollowness to the feeling of it.
what
but
if
like
you
when
ate
we
one?
look at the
You
broken
shouldn't,
ones,
but
it's
what if
just
you did?
seems just like it's just looks like rock.
It looks like rock, yeah. It looks like if lightning had been captured in a rock.
Jaime, what if I ate one?
What if you? You would have a very difficult time finding one to eat. One,
New quest.
two, they're very big. They're very big.
What
What
is that
about
ever
just a
stop
lick?
Shibble?
You want to lick it?
Just a
How
lick.
many licks does it take?
Yeah, you can lick one for sure.
All right.
I'm the way I'm picturing this is that this conduit is kind of like off the side, so we're like holding Shovel by their legs down.
Yeah, for sure. That is how I'm also picturing this. Let me find my environmental stat block for to see exactly how I can pay this back. Kid. Enjoy the space, but also I'm gonna need some rolls.
You can't say we don't play in the space.
You do, you did. I love it. I love it so much. I love being able to put that thing there and be like, somebody's gonna try to eat this thing.
And we know
I'm
exactly
ready to
who.
roll.
I'm gonna need an agility reaction roll from you.
Agility reaction. All right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a DC 16.
Boy, oh boy, that is a 16.
Is it? Cool.
Yeah.
So you don't get blown off of the path you're on. You do collapse into a sort of quivering pile of muscles as unbelievable amount of energy courses through your body.
Does all their hair stand straight up?
Well, you can't tell because they're still in like sort of negative photo color space.
I picture like the lightning going between the two horns.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that definitely happens. It's like a purple lightning. And I spent a fear as I need everybody around you to make strength reaction rolls, DC 16, to not be pulled off the path as well.
I would like to say Nadezhda is standing back and looking cynical.
Okay, if you're not in close, you don't need to make the roll.
That's 18.
Okay.
I was encouraging Shibble, so I am in fact close. I can't defend that I'm not. And strength is my dump stat, so we might be dying. He says it's a 13 minus 1, a 12.
Okay, wait. So Sam is gonna pray and explain to God that you've had enough of falling, and that it shouldn't happen, and increase your thing by 4.
Thank you, Rasmudia.
Okay, so you all succeed. You all mark a stress. Shibble, you mark 2 stress. As you feel in your body a hunger that you have never felt in your life. Hunger for power.
Is this the start of Dark Shibble?
Dark Shibble.
Dark Shibble. That's awesome. Sorry, my mic fell over. We're struggling
if
over
I'm
here.
already like photo negative color, then it's only
Sure,
fitting that the
Nega-shibble.
personality should also be negashibble.
I think this is not like, it's not even something you register as being like bad or
It's washable. Like Waluigi.
maybe, yeah.
You're just wearing a little hat.
You just feel hungry, and that hunger is manifests as a true like a hunger in the way that you would hunger for a steak or for pizza or whatever. It's a hunger for power, and as your body like convulses on the floor, you feel yourself being like, I want to convulse more.
How did it taste?
Was it worth it?
No.
I need more.
I guess it was.
Well, let's defeat this clock guy, and then we can get you some more. conduit.
Maybe
you can eat the clock guy.
Okay, as you guys are talking immediately after Shibble does this licking the power line thing, licking the power grid, I'm gonna spend another fear. You guys are sort of walking down the side of a building, or not sorry, not a building, of the cavern. Like you're now reaching at what amounts to being like sort of the ground, quote unquote, but it's not. It's still going down. There's still like down to go. You are pretty far down. You're several hundred feet down at this point. As you see a the whirring sort of, it's moving, it's making sound, it's sparking, but it's sort of laying there sideways. The broken body of some sort of machine.
Is it an Azure unit?
It doesn't look like any technology you're familiar with.
Ooh.
It looks like a spherical body made of brass with a like a circular pillar sticking out of one side that seems to spin. It's a short pillar, like almost like a plinth, or not a plinth, like a
Like a
like a dais sort of sticking out of the top. Like a raised piece has come up, sort of like it spins in a circle, and it just goes, and like little sparks are coming off of it.
Azure, what is this thing?
I don't remember. I think it's from before, like from when people were first coming here.
I'm gonna snap a picture of it with my talk rock.
Okay. It's as you guys get close to it, it's like starting to like sputter and whir like much more loudly. It seems to be trying to sort of right itself. It seems to have fallen over.
Can I tinker with it to try to write it?
Yeah, sure. What do you do?
Just, I guess, try and get close and like Cornelia's actually pretty good with machines, and see if I can kind of fix it back, like carefully move it back to what I think it should be.
Yeah, give me well, first give me a finesse check.
Oh, that's real bad. It's my best thing. 12 with fear.
Okay. So
It was a 2 on the hope die for anybody who's curious.
a 12 with fear on this gives you the following interaction with this creature, or this thing, not even a creature. It reaches out and grabs your hand as you reach out to it. Very slim, wiry mechanical arm reaches out from inside of this spherical shape, and grabs your arm and is not letting go.
Guys, I think I made a friend. I don't know.
Does it have like another obvious arm?
No.
I guess I want to kind of go over and like try to examine it closer.
As you walk over toward this construct, basically, the another arm does appear out of sort of its central like its sort of equator, and it is going to attack you, Sam. This is going to hit you with a 15 plus 6, 21. This thing reaches out and slashes your face. You take, oh wow, max roll on 2d6, so 12 plus 3 bludgeoning damage. 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Is it hostile to me at all, or is it just grabbing me?
It's at the moment it's just grabbing you.
I'll use an armor slot to put it down to minor.
You guys hear it sort of like repeating this word over and over. Clean, clean, clean. It's going to reach out. It's going to reach with the same arm and try to slap basically Cordelia. That's a natural 20. And so that's for a 26. It hits you.
Oh, I thought you meant that was the damage.
No, for
I'm gonna be killed by a vacuum cleaner. That's a severe.
No, this is of Jehovah.
That's a severe. And I'm not using an armor slot. I don't want to get my ballet uniform dirty.
oh my god.
I'll use it when I need to, but now's not the time.
Are you guys gonna respond to it?
Yeah. I guess I will run up to it and punch it in the face.
You gotta punch it in the face? Okay. Go
Have a
ahead
face?
Or
and
whatever is closest.
Punch
to
it
its
in the
face.
plinth.
Yeah. Punch
Yeah.
it in the plinth.
I think you would notice that like that thing at the top seems to be like sensory, like architecture in some way. So go ahead and how are you going to attack it?
Punch it real hard.
Like just up. Okay, go ahead and punch it. Would it?
Oh, that's
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Hell yeah.
and yeah, I will use forceful push, and so I will also do some extra damage and knock it.
So it can't. I'll say it's sort of lodged in the ground. I'm going to say your forceful push effectively knocks the head off. On a crit, using forceful push, you're going to push the most proximate part to it that is mobile away from it, and then leave the rest behind. So if you're punching at the sort of the plinth sticking out of the top, you're going to punch its head right off. What's the total damage you do on it?
Just block off. All right, let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah, literally.
My other friend River just joined the stream and said that watching me get almost killed by a vacuum cleaner is the best spot to join.
Yeah.
The 2d10, right?
Yeah.
So that's 28.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
That-
Yeah.
Kill a vacuum.
So yeah, I think it definitely kills a vacuum. This thing you punch, like I said, you punch its head off. What this tells me is what's left of it after you hit the head, and the answer is nothing.
Also, I'm attached to it.
So the mechanical parts that are like moving around interior to it are they as the head comes off, as you knock the block off, the hand holding your wrist, Cordelia, it like goes loose and it actually like mechanically falls apart next to you as these like bronze metal pieces just sort of fall on the ground and the interior engine of this thing like powers down.
I want to try to gather up as many pieces as I can carry of this thing.
Can we sell the bronze?
I mean, for sure, definitely you could sell the bronze. But yeah, you could. It's pretty heavy, but you could definitely gather up some of it. Just write down how much, like what you gather.
I want to take the hand that grabbed me.
It's like a three-prong, like two downward and one upward, like fork kind of
Yeah, I'm still
that grabbed
taking
you.
it.
Okay. As you sort of reach inside to grab parts of it, you get this very cold feeling as you like. There's a part of it that you touch and you're like, oh, I don't like the way that feels.
I guess take a picture of that part with my talk rock.
Okay, you get a picture of like no, I'm sorry, no, an ultraviolet sort of lit from behind, um, just sort of vague piece of architecture, or like mechanical architecture that is, I mean, in truth, it's sort of heart shaped,
How big is it?
smaller than your fist. It's pretty small.
I want to try to remove it from this thing.
Give me a finesse.
Would you like to have a more finesseful person try to do it? Even though I just failed on finesse, I will try. Yeah, that's an 18 with hope.
Okay. Yeah, you pull this thing out. It unscrews like a light bulb.
Sam was trying to get it out, but he was turning it the wrong way.
He was just pulling on it. And I twisted. Here, Sam. I think you wanted this. It feels weird and terrible.
Does it still feel cold?
Yeah, it feels really like hungry.
Yeah, I just wrap it up in a bunch of cloth and like put it in my pack or whatever.
Azure? Is this like the thing behind the door that wants to get to the matrix and wants the...
Oh no,
No?
no, no,
All right.
no. This is
That's an innocent vacuum cleaner.
yeah. I think this is a construction creature
Why'd
or
it try to kill
robot or
me and take
I
me
think
away?
I think it's got to be at least 200 years old.
That's older than this country.
Yeah, it fell maybe from one of the ceilings, one of the roofs. And you sort of look around, you see that there's scattered little pieces like on the ground here of like what effectively amount to being like mining equipment and like construction equipment.
What a sad existence to be fallen at the bottom of a pit for 200 years.
So weird though that like most stuff didn't survive. Like to a mysterious degree, most stuff that old didn't survive, but this did for some reason.
Maybe it's the heart.
Well, it's our heart now.
Yeah.
Well, the whole party takes a much darker turn today. All right, so you guys continue And as you walk down this little path that you're on, it's not little, it's pretty wide actually at this point. You can see there's all kinds of like very obvious now at this point equipment or hardware that's been sort of piled up down here. It looks like stuff has just sort of fallen.
And I mean, it all looks like strange technologically. Like it all looks
It
like
looks old. Like imagine like steam engines, right? But like with magic.
Like, this was, like, the first forays into using the magic that's present in Vescar.
Exactly. Exactly.
so. It doesn't seem like pre Vescar. It's just
No, no, no. It specifically looks like like a steam engine version of things that you
Colonial
have seen.
Vescar.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there a corporation's mark or logo on it?
Give me a knowledge check.
0 to knowledge. Ooh, absolute glutton for fear. Right? 14 with fear.
14 with fear. Well, I will
Present for
take
you.
my fear.
We're rolling a lot of fear today, guys. Don't we
eventually you
always?
won't be able to get any more fear.
I need a different fear because this one's falling apart.
Can
You
I
got
get it?
you
Can I?
sorry?
I am lore-born, so I have advantage on stuff that involves history. So can I roll a d6 and add that?
Yeah.
Plus 5, so that's 19.
And you would certainly say the corpse are prominent.
Yeah, for sure. I think that with a 19, you see like part of a logo that would otherwise go unseen if you weren't looking for it intensely. And you recognize it as like an early pre-Edgewise era. Like I can't remember what the company was that became Edgewise Engine Works, but it's that company.
Okay.
I always thought Edgewise tech was cheap, but maybe if this one survived, maybe it's actually good.
Maybe that's just what the phrase told themselves.
Maybe.
They don't build them like they used to.
Well, that's for sure. Certainly not helicopters. Not that they used to build helicopters.
Back in the day when you had to wear a suit to go on a helicopter.
When my dad invented the helicopter 10 years ago. Whenever. I don't know.
As you guys are walking through this space where there's a bunch of these, like they're not whole creatures, they're not whole constructs, there's just pieces of carts, engines, whole bars of metal that are like rusted and corroded. The bronze not so much, like some like iron looking ones are. There's places where there's been clear like burning, and there's also like an interesting level of plant life growing down here. As you go further down, it's getting warmer, more humid, and the light is getting a little brighter. So there's like tendrils of like sorry?
It must have already been pretty humid geographically, so imagine now it's like really humid.
Yeah, it's pretty humid here. That's why like metal is rusting down here.
Is there any aluminum down here?
I don't think you see any aluminum down here at all. I think pretty much everything you do see is like it's almost like Bronze Age, like levels of technology.
Are there any copper pipes we can steal?
There are, and you could use them to replace the pipes in your building right now.
We haven't
Um,
checked. Our building could be unscathed.
No, I mean in real life. No, I think that you do see some copper, but it's pretty corroded. There's clearly like water flowing down here now, like where you guys are walking. There's like gathering streams of water become like larger and larger little pools. And not rivers. I'm sorry, larger and larger little streams and pools. And as you get lower, more water is available, and the space over your head is like very large. You guys look up and you see these massive, truly massive, like the size of a 16-wheeler truck in diameter conduits, like flowing, like reaching like majestically upward out of the walls and like reaching toward the storm spire in the direction of the storm spire.
What's our spell grid signal like at this point?
It's just fluctuating up and down.
I mean, because I would think like normally, like you would assume if you're this far underground that it would just kind of not work at all, right?
Yes, for sure.
So it's weird that it's like,
Yeah, it's very strange.
Are there any signs that we're getting close to whatever it is that
Yeah, there are. As the atmosphere gets warmer and wetter down here, you see, like I said, some plant life growing here. It's not like a glorious rainforest or anything. There's just like vines and shrubs and like lichens and whatnot. Like ivy is climbing over some of these scattered remains of these old robots. And um the sort of rocky walls are being eaten away by like pooling water and lichens. And go ahead.
I'm assuming that we're out of, you can call it the underfen, I'm calling it fungal rock. But
Okay.
down at Bongo.
down at Fungal Rock, I'm assuming we're out of town at this point. Like they wouldn't leave.
Yeah, now it's just caves rather than like
Yeah.
constructed, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Wouldn't leave like debris from ancient debris just around their living space.
Yeah, no, this is definitely like what whoever was building those buildings up top, they don't come down here, or they didn't come down here. That said, you do see evidence that some people have traversed this space. There is definitely a path, and you are on it. And as you sort of observe this, you notice that there is sort of a drifting cloud of spores approaching you.
Azure.
Azure is looking up and sort of is like, yeah,
What's with the spores?
I don't know. I don't know her.
Can I take the torn part of the lining of my bag and use it to cover my mouth and nose?
Yeah, but your little secret phone falls out.
No, it's on the inside lining.
Yeah, you can try that. That's going to be a finesse check, DC 18.
Yeah, that fails. Well, actually, what is that? It's 11 plus 4, 15 with hope. So it does fail.
Okay. Yeah, so you put it on, but you don't know that it's not tied well.
It's just
I
gonna
think
fall off.
Sam is just going to
So
try.
you're like, I'm good. What's that?
I think Sam's just going to try to hold his breath.
Um. So as you guys move through the space, I think I'm going to spend another fear on this, and I think Shibble has a moment where you kind of have like a seizure as the hunger starts to gnaw at you internally. You feel the absence of power in you intensely, and a like almost like an event horizon opens up around Shibble, and everybody within close range, who I'm assuming is everybody, needs to make a strength reaction roll.
13 minus 1, 12.
Oh,
18 minus 1, 17.
Shibble, what's your evasion?
My evasion is 12.
Okay, so and what is Sam roll?
12.
12. You guys all survive.
Whew.
Survive.
Thank goodness.
You guys all pass.
Thank goodness.
As there's like this moment where like you feel physically pulled towards Shibble. You all feel like a physical pull as Shibble feels this gnawing sensation just like rear its head inside of your body, like inside your stomach, and then like you kind of burp it up, and it kind of passes.
Yeah.
Hold on one sec. I'm gonna find something real quick.
Somebody get Shibble some vodka.
Shibble, are you okay?
Where you go?
Do you need some tube meat?
I need to lick the thing again. The thing
Lick-
that I licked and I said I needed more. I need more.
I don't think that's a good idea.
But I need it.
It's really big. Are you sure? When I touched it, I got all weird and electric.
Yeah, and it tried to awake my head god.
Well, it makes me feel good, and I think it might prevent things like what just happened from happening.
I mean, just because something makes you feel good.
I'm just saying, just because you had a bad experience doesn't mean licking it is a bad idea.
As you burp it up, you experience like a feeling of intense euphoria.
Uh-huh.
Getting rid of this makes your body feel better.
So I shouldn't lick it again.
Well, that's up to you.
I'm gonna lick it again.
Well, you're not standing near one at the moment.
When
to
I
be
get
clear.
the opportunity, I will.
If you could
Okay.
fly, you could get one.
As you burp this up, you also get advantage on instinct checks.
Ooh. Okay. I'll take it.
And you guys, as this conversation is occurring, you don't notice that you are being surrounded by green mist. Yeah, you don't notice that you're being
Oops.
surrounded by green mist. But Shibble, as you are experiencing this euphoria, I'm going to say you have generated a fear for me in this mist.
Yeah, because you don't have enough fear.
He spent some on me. Only some.
So at this point, do we notice that the mist is
Yeah.
running us?
Yeah. Yeah. It seems to be swirling around you guys and increasing in intensity drastically.
Do we feel anything? Like, is this like a rust situation where we're like feeling effects?
Well, I'm going to spend a fear and say yes. You guys start to experience distorted senses of like your sense of vision seems to get distorted. You see Shibble go in and out of different like color palettes. Shibble
Whoa,
sees
Shibble, you're so
Nadezhda
many
get really
colors.
tall.
That's good stuff.
This is much more stereotypical hallucinogen than it is like rust. So it's different. And I think all of you are sitting there. Unless anybody's trying to avoid it, you're going to take
I'm
8
trying to
points
avoid it.
of. Are you going to run?
And I'm almost half dead. I am half dead. I'll try to run.
You're going to run? Okay.
So would you describe this effect as a condition?
Yes, it is. It is a condition.
Yeah, so I'm going to use my bold presence. Once for rest, when you would gain a condition, you describe how your bold presence aids you in the situation and you avoid gaining the condition.
Okay. Yeah.
It's Jehoover.
Yeah, so I think Sam, first of all, he knows a bad trip. So, like,
Yeah.
there's some experience there.
He
But I
does.
think he kind of centers himself and, like, just runs.
Okay. So everybody that runs takes 2d6 damage. That's 10 points of damage as the spores infiltrate your lungs and start to burn.
Is it magic damage?
No, it's physical damage.
There.
Should I
You effectively are having an asthma attack.
use an armor? Can I use an armor? I don't think I can.
You know, this is not. You cannot use an armor slot for this. This
This
is.
who has 1 HP left.
Yeah.
Do you want some healing?
As you guys run through
I
here,
will.
see the body of, like, as you run through this, like where this green mist is pulling, you see sort of like the body of, think if a mushroom had clown feet and was 6.5 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
That's how I pictured those monopods in Prince Caspian. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about.
It's been
No.
so long.
The little guys who are invisible and jump around and have giant feet. That's what
I
I'm
don't remember
picturing.
this. But yeah, think like really tall. This thing's real tall, and it has like basically clown feet and arms. It's like puttering in a circle, repeating lines, like repeating like welcome, welcome, welcome.
It's organic.
It appears to be.
Azure, do you know what this thing is?
I think it's broken.
Do you know how to fix it?
No, I don't think it can.
Well, you thought that about the other one and we fixed it.
No. This is more like that machine than it looks. Azure, I think, is gonna like sort of jump off of Shibble's arm and like dance its way over to this thing. It's basically like, it sounds like a recorded sound on repeat. And I think she can't really push this thing in any way, but she can sort of like, she reaches like a seam in the bottom of this the foot and pulls, and it reveals like inside there's like biomechanical stuff.
So like a animatronic
Like
mushroom.
a Five Nights at Freddy's mushroom?
Yeah, a little bit, but think instead of like hard mechanics inside, like hard like gears or pistons, it's like vines.
So it's like a
And she's,
plant version of the Azure 3.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, sort of like speaking out loud to herself at this moment. She's like, "This, I remember these. We made these. These were our robots. When the rest of Candelon had robots to build the buildings, these were ours. This is what we made."
And why is it trying to poison us?
No, I don't think it's trying to poison us. I think we're just back at the place where life is. I don't know how it didn't die, but I have to assume. She's getting like more wordy. in the
Yeah,
moment.
I've noticed she's a little bit more lucid today.
Yeah, she's a little more like she feels a little more grown up.
I think we should keep moving.
I think so too. I think we're going the right way.
Well,
Yep.
see.
So is everyone else just tripping still, or
It's just while you guys were in that environment. So leaving it does damage to you if you try to run away from it. If you stay in it, you just trip.
Awesome.
Wow, so I could have just stayed and not. Well, it's fine. I could have also used an armor point earlier.
I think Azure's going to be like, we should be as careful as possible to be healthy when we arrive.
yeah?
Yeah,
I
you
can
think, Azure?
heal you. I'll do sparing touch to
Thank you,
clear your
Sam.
speed.
And how much time do we need for downtime?
You would have already done it. We don't need to rest again. That feels excessive.
It took a major hit. Like, if we can sit down for 20 minutes and
I mean, I'm fine.
How much did you heal,
Clear.
Sam? 2. Thank you. Back at half.
I mean, if we took a break every time Cordelia almost died, we never did anything done.
It's true. I should probably be invisible when we go into the next situation. I don't know if that would protect me from poison gas, but it could protect me from a lot, I think. It could protect me from mobsters and angry CEOs. Never mind, Sam, you did not hear me say that.
Wait, is the implication that Sam's the angry CEO there?
No,
No, I'm under an NDA, remember?
Oh, you're under. I
No.
understand. I understand.
Yep, I
That
am
makes more
taking it very seriously.
Okay, so I think Azure's going to emphasize this point. I think you guys really should rest up a little bit before we go any further. I don't remember much about what we will see, except that I know it's very dangerous.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll do a short rest then.
I
All
will
right.
I will tend to wounds.
I'm back up to full. I rolled a 2 plus 2 would be 4.
I did a 1, but plus my tier, which is I'm back up to full.
Yep.
And I'm going to say Nadezhda does it by sitting on the ground and being aggressively annoyed that that just happened to her.
I'm just drinking more weird penicillin vodka.
Tastes like blue cheese.
My anger at the situation is better than medicine.
And I'm gonna do my second to clear stress. I'm gonna just take a picture of the weird robot and send that to May from the same old account. And that clears all my stress.
Yeah, I'm gonna patch up my Elendrin chain trench coat. And I think I'm also gonna send all these pictures of these robots to Dr. Bobo and just say, know any historians, question mark?
It'll get there in 9 years.
Yeah.
I think Nadezhda, Esther,
Okay. It just happens. But would you like what is it? Instant?
I want a presence roll to evaluate the level of detail. So it's going to be a reaction roll. It's not a this is a reaction to Sam sort of sending out this prayer.
Okay. So wait, presence or instinct?
It's a sense, could be instinct.
It could be instinct, yeah.
Okay. In that case, it is 17.
I think on a 17, do you see your own sort of surging, spiking relative sense of power as you're walking through this thing and as you are like approaching these conduits versus like leaving them? You feel this sort of cresting and dropping senses of like magical presence. Sam's message isn't going anywhere here. You're the only satellite here.
Nadezhda is Sam's god in this moment.
No.
Hey, Sam, that's still worse than me finding out I'm actually your disciple.
But I feel like that's the worst case scenario for me and for Nadezhda. That's a lot Nadezhda wants.
So are you sure you want to send this to your hated but reluctantly respected stepfather?
I just feel like he's going to be able to get us in contact with people who understand Vescarre history.
Understand, but keep silent about?
Hopefully.
All right.
Nadezhda, it's either that or you get the extremely propaganda-filled history that I got, so...
All right. I guess I'm going to look at the pictures that Sam took. All right. Describe your stepfather to me with as much emotion as you possibly can, because that will help. Sam?
So say that again.
You have to describe Dr. Bobo to Nadezhda with
Describe
as much
stepfather to me
emotion.
with as much
Yeah, I
emotional
mean,
perturbation as
he's
you possibly can.
imagine an orangutan
All right, I'm there.
with little glasses, and then
Huh?
picture him with like the smuggest expression you can.
That's annoying. Yes.
Just dial the smug up until the dial breaks.
All right, all right. And the fact that he knows that you are tied to him no matter how you feel about him, does that make him more smug?
Yeah.
There we go. And I picture that orangutan. Oh, does he have an annoying little ringtone? Like he has to be special whenever he gets a message?
Yeah, it's like a classical cat.
It's one of those, and it's not like one of the main composers. It's like one
Yeah,
of the lesser known
exactly.
pieces, so he can say, actually, this is from the second symphony. Nobody knows it except me. But I like it best. All right, I've got it. And I look at the picture and I picture this smug orangutan stepfather in my head, and I send it.
It's like the Bored Ape NFT. That's what you're picturing.
All right. So I try my best to help Sam send a text message to his stepfather.
Dang, you'll help Sam, but you won't let me send passive aggressive selfies to my ex.
You did not ask.
That's true. No, it's fine. It's fine. She'll see it when
Anyone
the
else?
time is right.
All right. Shibble, is there anyone you would like to text with something uplifting or annoying?
No.
Is there anyone else in your life that is not us?
I've been wondering that too, Nadezhda.
What is up with you?
Nothing much.
All right. But you were born of a woman, correct? You did not simply appear as a large cow person.
Remember?
There's a prophecy that they cannot be beaten by any cow of woman born.
Yeah, you don't. Shibble might fulfill a prophecy.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, Sybil wasn't there when they were born.
There.
Shibble, just.
I mean, I was there, but I don't remember.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't think Shibble remembers what happened like last week, so.
No, I love that Miss Monks was like, I know Shibble's deep, dark secrets. And we're all like, does Shibble know what a secret is? We'll never know.
Have you
Until-
heard of a brother from another mother? Bro philosophy. Now picture a brother, except it is actually your mother.
What if we're a twin from another mother?
Yeah.
Thing, and we all know that.
What if
I think-
I'm just like the secret triplet that appeared somewhere and I have twin siblings out there somewhere who
What if
don't
one
even
of
know
them-
where I am?
You're
One of them
actually
is the naked
Vexen?
color, Shibble.
I mean, we believe that someone gives birth to the secret triplet, but they just don't know that they are giving birth to a secret triplet. But go on.
You're right. I'm sorry, Nadezhda. You told us last time about the stereotypes.
It's all right.
You guys move through the space, continuing to go downward until you reach an area where the floor sort of levels out and actually starts to sort of slope, not upward, but like a hill, like a little hill is starting to crest. This is like a tunnel, like a very wide tunnel you guys are walking in. It opens into like a sort of circular cavern where the stone is overgrown here but smoothed out in a way that looks like water has been collecting in this space for a very long time. So the stone has like a river stone sort of look or feel to it.
But there's not like standing water.
There is not standing water, but there is like running space, like spaces where water has run in this area.
Is this what you meant by going the way water goes?
Way water goes, it goes down until it can't go down anymore.
Again, so does shit. Let's go on.
She's like, she has a point.
Yeah, but we don't need nasty metaphors. We can have nice metaphors.
I'd rather follow the water. We have a choice. Plus, I think we established last time that when the underground shot upward, it severed all the sewer pipes and shot shit everywhere.
Not a
Did
lot
you
of them,
did you
but
do
many of them, yeah.
that?
Yeah, we did say that, yeah.
I missed
We
that.
made a joke about your unconscious body being covered in cess.
Well,
Yeah, well,
that's
it was
not
no, it was
canon.
the joke was that it wasn't, 'cause it like, you landed on, a escarpment that was sticking out from the wall,
Thank
and, like,
goodness.
it was, like, above your head, there was, like, some pipe that had, like, burst.
Because if I were covered in sewage, I would have used armor points this whole time. Let me be clear.
No, you are not covered in sewage.
Okay.
You are surprisingly well kept altogether, given that you fell as far as you did fall.
Listen, Morella shamed me that one time for how dusty I was after climbing up that pipe. It's like deep in my soul now.
Yeah. So in this room, like I said, you see, like, there's no standing water, but there's places where, like, there's, like, runnels where water runs through, and you can see there's water running in here currently. Like, all sorts of little, like, places where like, little paths that water has, like, evaporated or sorry, condensed against the walls and, like, started to run down, like, leaves little, like, runnels and rivulets. And the stone is overall very smooth. This is like a circular sort of cavern, a circular sort of chamber. And
Glossary.
in the middle of this circular chamber is boulder um that appears to be covered by almost like a fine network of like a very thick version of a spider silk almost. And as you guys approach the room, you can see that it has like markings etched into it of some sort. And then opposite that, from where you are entering, is a door.
Get it, shovel.
And this door looks so familiar to Shibble, who has seen this door once before, it looks like. It takes a moment, but your sort of your visual memory like lines it up. You're like, this is the door that I ran through that was in that tree.
Hmm.
I wonder if
The
fuse is
fuse
on the other
door?
side of this.
There is no fuse sign above it this time.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's the room. It's pretty big. It's very far, I would say, in size. And the boulder at the center is very big.
I want to cautiously start moving towards the boulder.
Okay. What do you do?
Can I invisible?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll 2 invisible. But very nice. It is with fear, but it's gonna be a 25, which
25 with
passes.
fear. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just have to pass 10 to be invisible.
Yeah, you're fine. You're invisible. Cordelia disappears.
But I'm afraid.
And there's just a coat rack there.
Yeah.
Are you implying that when I go invisible, a coat rack spawns where I used to be?
And then
I
moves
can
when
see
no
it.
one's looking.
Yeah,
I think that's just when I'm hiding because I'm cloaked.
that's fair. Literally cloaked, as in wearing a cloak.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do? How are you guys interacting with this space? What do you
I mean, like I said, I'm just moving cautiously towards the boulder.
do? You walk all the way up to the boulder?
Slowly, yeah.
Cool. It is a boulder. It is, as you approach it, you see there's sort of like sigils on it, carved into it. And there are places where the surface is sort of cracked.
But it doesn't like wake up and grow arms and try to punch me.
Not like a
I mean,
talus from
how
Zelda.
close are you to it?
I mean, I know a sleeping boss when I see one. I guess I would say I'm close, but not very close.
Okay. Yeah, no, it smells really nice down here. It smells like earthy and like damp, and like the temperature in this space is like cooler than it was outside of the space.
Is it less humid?
No, it's more humid, I'd say, but temperature is a little cooler and it smells nicer. The lighting is more like blue and like green.
May
There
I
are vines hanging off the walls, roots hanging down.
may I approach the door invisibly? And I'm walking around the perimeter, not through the boulder.
What about the other two? What are you guys doing?
I'm activating arcane sense and very slowly sensing around. Does Azure pick up anything? Do I pick up anything like arcane when I get near Azure?
There's definitely magic happening near Azure. Azure is
I'm
not
trying to.
necessarily a creature of magic, but is sort of in a constant state of doing a weird kind of magic.
It's the magic of
It's the
dance.
dancing.
Yeah, a little bit. You don't get a sense that I would say, like, with your arcane sense, what you feel here is like patience. How about Shibble?
I would also like to approach the door.
Okay. You
But
have
less
we have
carefully.
I thought that was
Nadezhda's sort
implied,
of
yeah.
sticking around the outside, and Cordelia
Wait,
and Shibble are approaching the door, and Sam is approaching the boulder in the center.
I'm putting on my gloves so my hands don't get more messed up.
Cool.
The Midnight Spirit. The door completely obscures the next room. Yes, like there's
Yeah,
not.
there's no obvious room. In fact, I think from where you stand, it's almost impossible to tell if the door is actually a door or if just something carved into the rock wall.
Who reaches the door first?
I think what happens is you guys sort of approach the door, and obviously this creature that has folded itself into a boulder stands up.
You knew it.
And yeah.
Doot, 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 doot. Boss music starts.
Do we see the health bar on top of it?
Yep. Yeah. Boss music starts. I was trying to figure out how to get boss music to play in here, and I can't.
It's in the
But-
mind. It's theater
Yeah.
of the mind.
Yeah. Boss music definitely picks up.
You as soon as we walk through that fog door.
I'm going to spend a fear here as Sam. I need you to make an agility reaction roll. This is a DC 16 agility reaction roll.
21.
21. Great. You are surprised to feel the ground go soft around your feet as this thing stands up. It unfolds, revealing like plates of like hardened, like rock-like material around it. As it stands up, it is probably 10 feet tall, wide, 10 feet wide as well, and is hard to make sense heads or tails of, although a tail does sort of form in front of you. And the ground around your feet goes soft, and you jump out of the way as it doesn't like absorb your feet into it. Is going to immediately take an action. That was an environmental effect, by the way. It is going to immediately take an action. It uses a concussive bloom of spores expel from its body in a blast of force. I need everybody but Nadezhda to make what is it?
Agility?
No, I have to make attack rolls on you guys. I'm sorry.
Thank goodness. You can't see me.
It's an AoE. So it's a 14 plus, so that's a
Yeah, that'll hit
17. Who does that hit?
everyone. Remember, evasions are low in Daggerheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it rolls a 17 to hit. And you guys take 5 points of damage as almost like a shell of spores hits you, and you become everybody that it hit successfully becomes. It's hard to move your limbs. You become heavy.
We don't like that. That's very
I'm gonna use-
anti-me.
I'm going to use my bold presence and just like shake it off, basically.
Your okay, you could do that.
So could I reach out with my like psychic tentacles and try to connect with this thing?
Yes, you can.
I would like to do that.
So describe how you do that.
So every time I think of reaching out with the mentacles, I imagine like, have y'all seen the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2?
No, but I love the
So,
sound of this.
like Bella has this
Wait, are you
power as a
creepy CGI
vampire
lady?
where she can like protect someone from like the magical effects of other vampires. So she can like, if she concentrates really hard, she can like project a shield onto someone. So it's always just like Kristen Stewart standing there like with a very intense look on her face, just like.
Yeah.
So that's what I imagine myself doing every time I reach out with the tentacles. So I'm doing that, and I'm just like trying really hard to like connect with this thing.
I think that you would know you have to touch it if you want to try to use your tentacles.
But they're my psychic tentacles.
Yes, they are. But we have changed how mentacles work in this world.
Mentacles were too overpowered
Magical
in the
too
They
before
were
times.
way overpowered.
You
have
are
to be
Kristen
in
Stewart
physical
with all
contact.
the special effects.
No. Well, I guess I will try to move my heavy feeling hindered self over to the thing so I can touch it physically.
Okay, so you find it not possible when you go to move. You can't move. It is you are restrained in the place that you are standing, and
Don't
you
like
may
this.
attempt to break free by basically like using an action to do so,
Okay.
or somebody else can try to break you free with an action as well. But you are at the moment like you feel rooted into place.
All right, I'll try to action myself free.
Okay. Um. Anybody else want to do something?
I mean, all I
I
could
want to run
do.
up to it and punch it.
Yeah, I'll do something after Sam does that.
And then I got dibs.
Okay, so go ahead and you run up and punch. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
There's a 20 with fear.
Oh no.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Cool. I will take my fear. Cool. Describe what happens.
And then I'm also going to use forceful push. And another,
Wait, does that take you out of melee?
technically, yeah.
Okay, it's fine. Do it.
So that is 16 damage. So I think I just punched like a whole chunk out of this thing. Just a bunch of rocks start flying back.
Never mind.
Okay.
It's
So
fine that you're out of melee. We're good.
16 is its major threshold. I'm sorry. It's oh god, thresholds are
Severe?
16. Yes, severe. No, it's its major threshold. So it is. Remind me if your pushing thing has a limitation on size.
Not one that's written into it. I mean, you could reasonably say that there would be one, but it's not like as written now.
Okay. What do you describe the action you're taking?
I mean, I'm just punching it really hard.
like One Punch Man.
Yeah, exactly. I do the cartoon wind up like a Popeye character and just
The boss music turns into 1940s like cartoon music.
I think you push it back a couple feet when you hit it, and it takes 2 damage. And you roll with fear, so I get control of the spotlight. And immediately, I'm going to spend a fear here as this thing starts to change shape. Instead of being a boulder or even a like vaguely humanoid looking fungal creature, magically transforms. And you see a very tall, broad pangolin standing in front of you, covered in chitinous triangular sheets, or I'm sorry, tiles, I guess. And the creature turns around, faces you. It has a long pangolin tail.
my one weakness. I can't punch something this cute.
It is really cute, but it's huge. I gotta mark this. Where are you?
So I'm
Oh, here we go.
dead.
What?
Bella Swan, like,
Will you put it? Yeah.
I just
Okay,
sent the
cool.
GIF in the Discord.
Yeah.
for those of you who aren't in cast chat Discord, it's
It's exactly what I said it was.
it really is. You described it so perfectly.
So yeah, this thing is now a pangolin, a large pangolin standing in front of you, and it is going to do a tail attack on you. So its tail whips out from behind it. This is at Sam. Oh, that's not going to hit. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe my vision's terrible, so
11.
yeah, that hits.
It hits. I thought your vision was 12. Okay.
No, my vision's 9. My
Okay.
minor damage threshold is 12.
Okay. So this tail reaches out and slams into you from behind it, and it. One sec. I have to find. It knocks you prone and does 7 points of physical damage to you. And you guys now have the spotlight.
Well, Cordelia, despite being usually a pacifist, we have seen the trend of anytime one of her
Yes,
party
Cordelia!
members. Yes, anytime. The only time she's attacked is if one of her party members is injured, is going to Rain of Blades with advantage because I'm invisible, which will trigger sneak attack. So let's see.
Ultimate pacifist tactic. Rain of Blades.
That hits.
And that's going to be 2d6 plus 2d8 plus. What is it? Plus 1? Is it plus my finesse? It's been so long since I've cast this. Plus 2. Okay. Oh, real bad on those damage die too. Dang. I was talking trash in the chat and I shouldn't have been. Okay, that's gonna be 12 plus 2 plus 2, 16 magic damage of blades.
That's its major threshold. So you
Really pitiful.
not
From
at all, actually. Honestly, way more than I thought you were going to do.
you forgot about sneak attack. It's been too
I did
long.
forget about that. Is true. I actually totally did. But yeah, you rain blades down on this very large bipedal pangolin. Was your attack with hope or fear?
With fear.
With fear. So it's my turn again.
And then Nadezhda's next.
And then, and then Nadezhda can go. So at this point, I think
And at this point, it kills Nadezhda, and then
it just turns around and says,
But you
fuck
didn't
you in
do
particular.
anything.
It's just charging up there.
It's hyper beam. Hopefully she uses a spell and doesn't just whack it with a staff.
I don't have
It-
much defensive magic, so
It is going to it's going to withdraw into its armored shell,
Cool.
and it basically turns into a like a pangolin ball surrounded by these this infinite loop of pangolin scales. And while it is in this position, it is resistant to all physical damage. So well, that's true. Actually, while it's in pangolin form, so that it's resistant to physical damage, which means it actually reduces the damage you did by half, which means it only takes 1.
Mine is magical damage. It's
But it is.
not
That's right.
physical.
That is true.
I'm
Okay.
talking trash
So-
again.
Yeah. It goes into that state. And I'm going to mark a stress, and it is going to rotate around. It's kind of, in my head, this kind of looks like, I've kept imagining this. It kind of looks like Sonic
Mm.
as it kind of turns around. It starts to spin up, and it's going to launch itself at Cordelia.
I'm invisible.
Oh yeah, you are. So it's going to launch itself at
Sorry, everybody.
at Sam. This thing
Yeah.
is not very super smart, and it's not very super tactical. It's going to launch itself at Sam.
I'm willing to tank this.
Okay, so it just launches directly, like it spins up like Sonic, and it does. This is an attack roll. That's cocked. That hits. That's 16 to hit. It slams into Sam, doing 2d12 physical damage.
Oh, holy cow. Sam, you just hear, I'm sorry, Sam.
It just it flattens him like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Like
It kind of does.
2D.
So it does 8 points of physical damage to you.
That's fine.
Could have been worse.
I mean, that's still
Is there anybody in very close range to you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Wait, Shibble, or Carissa, is Shibble near Sam at that
Shibbol's
point?
stuck, right?
I was by the door, and I believe I am still stuck.
We're
Okay,
both stuck by
you're
the
good.
Because I'm
door.
waiting for a turn to action myself out of being stuck.
Okay. So, yeah, you get slammed by this cannonball of a creature, and you take 8 points of physical damage, and you are knocked prone. Okay, and you guys have the spotlight now.
okay. If I now, what I remember is that this is just like the guardian of the door that leads to the place with the clock. Yes? All right. Now, I have a rope and a whip and a sex swing, and we all know that. And this place is covered with vines.
Can I
Now,
make a web?
how tall is the chamber? I assume it's tall enough for the creature, which is standing on 10 feet high. And you said it was kind of high up.
No, it's just like there's like a small mound at the center of the room.
But the creature is like the mound in the center of the room, but the ceiling of the room is
Oh, you mean the ceiling? I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's pretty tall. It's pretty high. You can't really see it. There's vines hanging down.
awesome. I spend a hope to summon my midnight spirit, which I have done before, to guide a rope tied to a whip, tied to a sex swing, up through the vines and make a path to the door that we can just climb
I'm not doing that again, Nadezhda.
out of the range.
So I died.
So I create this, I would say, I don't think pangolins climb very well. So
No, they
I'm
don't.
gonna
They
say
dig very well, though.
I am going to create a very nice path up the vines in this area and that I can just climb over and yell down, "Everyone, get up here and away from the monster."
I'm not doing that. I'm afraid of heights and we can't move. But you
All
do
right,
it. It's a good idea.
then, I guess. And
So the distance you're traversing here is pretty significant. I'm gonna say that for one action you can have your what is it called? The invisible
Midnight
servant?
Spirit.
Midnight Spirit. You can have that carry some like the rope up and across.
Okay.
And then on your next turn you can climb it.
Okay, but like anyone could climb it.
I mean, yeah, theoretically, if they could get to you. You're standing
Yeah.
on the like you're kind of in my head, if this is a clock and the center I'm sorry, the 12 o'clock is where you guys entered the room, then you're kind of standing at 10 o'clock. Shibble's standing at like 3 o'clock. Sam is
Mhm.
standing at like 4 o'clock ish. And Cordelia's standing at like 2 o'clock.
And I
In
think
that
you're the
case,
only one who can move right now.
and
Yes.
the spirit. Okay, can I have the spirits dangle the other end of the rope sex swing combo near either Shibble or Cordelia so
You'll
that
have
they
to
can have advantage on like
Yeah, I'd say that's fine.
do
okay.
Shibble because I'm invisible. You can't find me.
Okay. So I'm giving
Invisible.
one end. I guess that would work because I guess if we're at the doors at 12 o'clock, we came in at 12 o'clock, the door would be kind of at 6 o'clock. So yeah. Yeah. So, and because I don't roll, we keep the spotlight. So Shibble,
Yeah, I'd like to free myself from being stuck.
you have advantage.
Cool.
You just take hold of the sex swing, Shibble. It will save you.
So, like, am I rolling to do this?
No, you get advantage on your attempt free from this, like
Oh, no,
immobility.
there's no roll to get free. It's just you have to use
You
the
can
action to
just
do it. So
All right.
because there's no roll, you guys still have the spotlight, so you could do another action.
go for it, Carissa.
I want to go touch the pangolin physically and emotionally.
Touch it.
I'm going to run
All
up
right.
and touch it.
Are you just you're literally I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah.
You're using your mentacles. I thought you were making a joke. Okay. Okay, yeah, you go up and touch it. Go ahead. What do you do with your mentacles?
I'm trying to connect with it.
Okay. I think so Azure's in your like standing with you, probably on your shoulder or something, and you touch this thing and you feel empty. This thing is not alive. And it's not undead either.
Okay.
It's like a construct of some sort. And above the table, like it's a construct built around sort of druidic magic.
Ooh.
So it is it you reach out to it and there's nothing there to respond.
So I won't feel bad about killing this one.
Yeah, I had to
That's what it
I
sounds
wrote
like.
it this way on purpose.
Jaime's like, please, guys, can you kill something?
I
mean,
thought
I
we
feel
were
like you
gonna
just need to make
therapize it again.
You just need to make it be mean to us, and then we'll kill it.
That's fair. Yeah.
You could put my soul in there and then you won't want to kill it, right?
Cordelia
Maybe.
dies and gets soul printed back as a pangolin.
Hell yeah. It's very like Full Metal Alchemist, but make
It
it
really is.
Jurassic Park.
But like a pangolin with little stubby wings.
Okay. So you guys still have the spotlight.
Do you want to do an attack?
Yeah, go for it, Shibble.
I'm attacking it?
You hardly ever get to punch stuff and you're so good at it. Or hit
All
things.
right, if you insist.
I mean, if you want me to just rain of blades again, I
No,
will.
yeah. I really want to hit it, but like I know it's like it's in its armored state. It's going to be resistant to this, but I can
Do you
still
want me
hit
to-
it cuz I don't have any magical attacks.
You want me to try to get it out of the armored state? I don't know
But,
if I can.
I mean, I could still hit it. It just won't take
Yeah.
as much damage.
And you hit pretty hard.
So I
So-
will
Well, you know, it has a countdown clock, and the only way it gets out of this state is doing 4 successful attacks that are like physical damage attacks.
Okay, so I have to hit it. I have to hit it. Okay. So I'm going to give it a whack with my mace. I'm also going to add, do you want punch with that? To get a +2 on the attack roll. So that's going to be 11 plus 3 plus 2 is 16 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
Yay. Okay. So then rolling for damage, 12.
12. That is okay. Yeah. So you oh, it doesn't mark. No, it just counts the countdown down. So what happens is you see you hit it with your weapon and it like knocks some of its pangolin like scales off.
Are they pretty and sparkly?
They really are. They're honestly, I did a lot of visual like mood boarding with pangolins this week, and it was cool. They're very cool creatures.
Shibble,
They
you
look
should
really
take a
cool.
scale and make a necklace out of it. That'd be sick.
I already have this magic amulet that we've never actually
That's
talked
right.
about.
This thing is as big as Shibble's chest. This is so big.
Like a single scale is
Yeah.
Maybe you could make a breastplate out of it.
or a shield, considering how strong it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to push this thing again.
Okay.
I'll
Go
rain
ahead.
a blades after you.
And I'm going to use my I know Kung Fu experience to add +2.
Yeah, and I'm gonna climb up on the sex swing that I made. That's what I'm doing while you guys are punching the monster to death.
We
All right,
never
that is
said
a
it was a bad
17 with hope.
idea. It's a very good idea.
17 with hope.
A 17 with hope. So that hits for sure.
Okay, I'm going
Mark your hope.
to activate my second winds, which I can do when I succeed on an attack against an adversary. I clear a hit point, and since it's a success with hope, another ally within close range can clear a hit point. Cordelia, do you think you're close? Probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Sure.
I have not moved.
You want to clear a hit point?
Sure, I only had one marked, but this puts me back up to full.
I just assumed you had a bunch.
It can't see me, that's the only reason why. If it knew I existed, I'd probably be dead.
And wow, 18 damage.
Wow. Okay.
That's probably a severe.
That's physical damage, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so that counts down the countdown to it's out now at 2 of 4. I'm gonna spend a fear real quick. Have
Wait,
Uh,
actually, no, wait. 22 damage. Forgot to add the that I can do the push. So 22 damage.
wow, you're not quite at the severe threshold yet, but you're getting close. So it's still just 2 hit points of damage. But you as you punch it, it kind of rolls backwards a little bit, and you guys notice like a light purple lavender, almost snow starts to fall from where
Spores.
the sex swing is hanging up.
That's
And Shibble,
disgusting.
you recognize this as when you left the
Hey,
lake
Dasher,
house.
clean your sack swing.
This is the worst person to get hit by hunger power spores.
Well, no, this is not hunger power spores. These are rust spores. So this is an environmental effect.
Wanton
You guys are
empathy
now
is coming for you.
There's the entire room is full of a rust spore cloud. You are subject to the rust high condition, and you must succeed on an instinct reaction roll DC 16.
All of us?
Yep. Nice.
And this time, I'm not gonna use it to be super duper high.
Or did you say agility?
Instinct.
It's instinct.
Wait, it was a super crit. Everybody gets a hope, and everybody clears a stress.
Nice.
Nice.
Hooray.
You're welcome, friends.
Well, you guys, I forgot. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll do it next time. Sorry. Each time you guys make an attack on this thing, you're supposed to do a knowledge reaction roll.
Well, I'm about to attack it, so we'll do that.
Okay. Do a knowledge reaction roll for me.
But yeah, I got a 19, so I assume that.
Oh, you got a 19? Okay. So what else? What did everybody get?
Super crit.
12.
12 and
18.
18. Wow. Okay. So Shibble's high. Everybody else is fine. Shibble gets real intensely emotive with this construct until you clear this condition. You're subject to the rust high condition, and you feel connected to your enemy and cannot discern who to attack.
Wow, we've never had rust in combat. That's
Okay,
so
but
interesting.
wait, like, I couldn't connect to it mentally.
Yeah, but I think the drug effect here is you keep trying to connect.
It's like Sam with
Okay.
his fork, where he was like, And fork. Fork is
Yeah,
me.
yeah. That wasn't an action, that was an environmental effect. So you guys still have the spotlight.
Attack. Rain of blades.
Yeah, y'all are fucked up.
With advantage. Woo! Let me make sure this is what I think it is. It's not. I thought it was 3 6s. It's 2 6s and a 9. So let me count that up. That's going to be 15 plus 6, 21 plus 3, 24 with hope.
Well, that certainly hits.
And do I need that knowledge reaction roll before I damage?
Yes.
11. Oh, plus 1, 12. 12.
That fails, actually. You lose a hope.
Ooh.
No.
Well, I had like 5. I'm fine. I'm
Oh,
just a
by the
little
way,
sad.
I made the stream title still says taking a 5-minute break.
Oh, no.
You can do that while I'm calculating my sneak attacks. 2s again. What is with today? 6 plus 3, 9. Just 9.
9. Okay, so,
I gotta stop talking trash.
or keep going. Either way works for us.
There was
honestly.
a 2, a 1, and a 3.
Man, that's such a bad roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that's the minor threshold below. So that not marks it down. No, it's magic damage, so it just takes damage. Okay, cool. You guys still have the spotlight. That was with hope.
But yeah, so I actually get that hope back because I forgot to mark it. It's my 5 hope.
I'm going to punch it again.
Before that, can I make a minor illusion? On a success, you create a minor visual illusion no larger than yourself within close range. This is illusion is convincing to anyone at close range or farther. I just like to make another combatant for it to attack.
Just
Smart.
will do
Oh, that's
anything
very
to not do an
smart.
attack.
I can
It's
spend hope.
the me. It's a fake Cordelia.
Yeah, I like it. It's
Yeah.
2 Delia.
And it has little knives going around it.
It's like a lady pangolin with like really exaggerated lipstick.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Are you gonna put it? Where are you gonna put it?
Let's see. So door at 6. Me climbing slowly towards the door over a sex swing. Shibble, Sam, Cordelia. I don't know where Cordelia is. So Shibble
No.
and Sam are near the door. So I'm going to put it essentially at, I would say, 11 o'clock.
I'm safe.
Okay,
I was at 2.
11
I think.
o'clock in close range.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so, you guys still have the spotlight. Keep going.
Punch it, Sam.
All right. 16 with hope.
16 with hope. That lands. That's the difficulty.
Okay, so then knowledge check, I guess. 18 with fear, or it's reaction, right?
It's a reaction. It doesn't take fear. You don't
18.
take fear. 18. So you no longer have to do this roll when you act on it because you succeeded at it.
What do I learn?
This is just, it's like a hope eater feature.
You
But,
just
like,
don't get sad.
You just you see the mechanical non-beating non-heart at the center of this thing.
I see
And
that
you
it,
go,
but
oh, this is
it's working,
destroyable.
but that what we're doing is actually affecting it.
Yeah, I think you get the sense that it is. Yeah.
My combatant looks like an angry moose.
Yes.
Oh my God,
But
that's
it's a
funny.
small moose because it's no larger than yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my God. 22 damage.
Jeez. That's so much. You are so close. The threshold is 26.
I reached
But yeah,
that.
you that's one more. So it's at 1 countdown left
And
before it
I'm
starts
going to
taking physical
spend a
damage
hope
again.
to make him vulnerable as part of the forceful push.
Are you going to try to make it vulnerable?
Mhm.
Okay. Hold on to that because at the moment, because it's a countdown, it'll basically do nothing on the next attack if you
Okay.
use it now. But hold on to it. We'll just give it vulnerable in after the next attack.
Shibble, do you want to go
Can I
or
hit
should
it?
I? Yeah.
Yeah.
How does me being high affect my ability to hit it?
Sorry. Yeah. So you cannot attack. I apologize. You have to make an instinct reaction roll again. This will be like this is a whole action basically
Okay.
to figure out who the enemy is here.
12.
12. That is a fail. So you are high, and you're feeling very comfortable. Azure is very excited, and you're like you feel very like almost like heroic in this moment, and you're just like, wow, I'm bringing these people together that haven't seen each other in so long, and this is so important to my friend, and I um I'm very at peace with this moment. But yeah, you guys still have the spotlight, so keep going.
My last invisible action. So I realize this puts me at risk. Raina Blades again. Oh god, these are bad rolls. What's happening today, Libby? 18 with hope.
That lands.
Okay. I'm all full up on hope. When's the last time that's happened to Cordelia?
Yeah.
Maybe never.
Oh, you have to make the
That's right. Yep, got a
sorry.
knowledge roll. Thank you. I fail. It's an 8 plus 1, 9.
Okay, so you lose a hope.
So I lose the hope I just got.
Yeah.
It's because I'm a pacifist by nature.
No,
But
that's
you
just
can
not
you
true.
are able to do the damage still.
Absolutely not. Not a case.
That's more like it. Okay. 22 damage.
That's really good.
Actually,
Yeah,
sorry, 20 damage.
it's still
I'm
very
keeping
good.
myself honest.
That is above its threshold, so that is 2 more HP. This thing has not much HP left. You guys are doing a lot of damage to this thing, and I'm gonna force you to do an agility an agility reaction roll, Cordelia.
Yeah, I'm no longer
I'm spending a fear
invisible,
on this.
so that makes sense.
Just you
It's
have an
like
idea of how much fear I have and how much I've left. This is what I have right now.
that's the pesky thing that keeps throwing knives at me. That's really good. You said agility? 23.
23, that succeeds. So you also feel the ground start to get soft around your feet, but you are able to jump out of the way in time before, like, basically quicksand. This effect is called non-Newtonian fluid, is what I called it. But it's an environmental effect. But yeah, so you are good for now.
There's just swinging above you, saying, "If you are up here, you wouldn't have to worry about that."
There's just like
You guys still have the
fools
spotlight. You
attacking
guys
this
are rolling
enemy.
really well.
I'm not going up there. I'm gonna die if I do. So,
And there's the strategy is to let everyone else fight the thing.
Well, that's the thing. Question. What are the stats on an automatic weapon fired from a sex swing directly above?
just ricochet off the pangolin plates.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we saw its little belly, right?
A little bit. You saw its back more, its shoulders, really.
Okay. So, should I investigate the door?
You can.
Pick and pull. All right. Arcane sense. There's no magical thing coming from the door itself, right?
Think the door is not locked by any magical means, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, so I do have pick and pull. You had advantage on rolls to pick, non-magical locks, disarm,
Yeah.
non-magical traps. So can I try to kind of swing over on the sex swing, hold on to the place by the door, and try to pick the lock on the door?
Yeah. You'll do this. Give me a finesse check to get across, to maneuver yourself in the sex swing hanging above the. Never mind. I can't tell what's already happened.
If that's too tough, I will jump down from the sex swing and walk to the door.
I think what you have to do is maneuver yourself across this place with a finesse check. It's going to be let's just say, I mean, the whole place has a DC 16 difficulty rating, so just give me a DC 15 or 16 finesse check. You'll have advantage on this.
Oh, yeah, that's good. With hope.
Nice.
So that is 21. So
21. So
Nice.
yeah, you get across. You can now you can attempt to open this door.
All right. That's also finesse, so +1. All right. So Nadesh's just gonna, I guess, open the door and
Would you say 15? No, it's 16. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's a 16.
shit.
Can you bump it by 1 in any way?
Yeah, I can. Left bender. Wait. You might be too far away. We've run into this before.
Now you guys
She's
are
within close.
closer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you guys
within
are in
close.
close range now.
So I'm spending 3 hope. That lets you re-roll the duality dice.
All right. We'll try.
You got this, Nadeshda. I believe in you.
So that's 15. Damn it.
It's changed nothing. The same exact roll.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't your pick and pull let you do this with advantage?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So you got it.
So you have it. You automatically have it because
Yeah.
you always
Okay.
add at least one.
I'm like, hey, I know you don't usually do crimes. Here's how you break in a door.
I see.
Here's
All
the
right.
secret to getting through doors.
We'll see if
Okay,
they
cool.
give me
So
another door lecture.
you go to pick the door, the handle, the lock on this thing, and it it's so you expect it to be so much more difficult than it actually is, that it's almost like you've outwitted yourself a little bit, and you're actually like you're able to pull this is like not even like a standard lock. This is like think like an old world like latch lock.
Mhm.
And you're able to just push it up, and the door itself still seems sort of sealed into the wall, but the latch on the door is unlocked, so you know that there's something else to be done to open this door.
I bet we have to use its heart. That's so metal.
I hate poetry.
Can I
Sorry.
rain of blades and poetic justice since Nadej just said that?
Yes.
Yes, which means if I fail, I get to add something.
And since I
So
want to say,
19 with hope.
since I got a 22 on my maneuver, I'm going to say I'm still on the sex swing. I'm just
Yeah,
sort of
that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
You look
one
You're just
so
sort of lowered from the ceiling
why.
like Mission Impossible.
okay, fine. I'll say a poem, River. Does anything rhyme with pangolin? Maybe that's the poem. I can't
Pangolin.
think of anything that rhymes with
Pangolin.
pangolin. Penguin
Anger
is
in?
penguin is kind of close. That's kind of what I am. I can't fly.
Nadej is dangling from the swing.
Yeah, just dangling above this pangolin. And I'm just a penguin. I can't fly. If I go
And
up
you guys
there,
are
I'll be
angling.
dangling, and then I'll die. Just like last time. 11 plus 4, 15 plus 2, 17 plus 2, 19 magical damage from
Okay,
my
that's
lame ass
that's
poem.
that is 2 more damage.
Nadezhda is weeping with the beauty from it.
It didn't stress you out this time?
Anguish and Penguin.
That's very good. I don't know who you are, Innocent Apple, but that's amazing. You should be
That's
Cordelia.
very good. Excellent. Okay, so you guys, that was with hope, right? So you guys still have the spotlight. I'm gonna spend another fear here, and I'm gonna cause another spore cloud to fall.
No. Oh, I need the
So
knowledge as well.
Anguish and
yeah,
Penguin was
sorry, yes, you
definitely
do.
Cordelia's screen name when she was a teen.
Yeah.
I was Flightless Bird, but Anguish and Penguin is really good, so I think it has to change
Flightless-
now. 9 plus 5 plus 1. I think that is it, right? It's a 16.
Yep, 16.
Okay, so I pass. So I don't have to
You
do
pass,
this
which means
anymore.
that you no longer have to do this.
Sweet.
So you don't lose your hope. Your heart and poetry line up here so well.
My super lame poem really inspired me.
And you guys still have the spotlight. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. You guys need to all do the
The spore save.
yeah, what was it? It was a intuition save? Or sorry, instinct save?
Do I need to do the save if I'm already high?
No, you don't. You
Am-
can though. I'll let you do it. It'll knock out the effect if you are high right now.
16.
Okay.
Oh,
To get you, Sam?
wait, what was the DC?
16.
16.
Okay, yeah.
21.
16!
My
And what did
poem
Sam
brought
get?
you back.
Immune to empathy.
Sobered me up
Absolutely.
so hard.
But yeah, your poem made me disassociate from my body.
My poems do usually make you guys mark stress for some reason.
I don't even know how to process that. Okay, so you guys are none of you take an effect or take the rust high condition.
Except
effect?
Sam.
Yeah, no,
I thought you got a 16.
no, I got an 8.
My bad. Yeah. Okay. Now Sam is high. So yeah.
So wait, is Shibble
Still have the
unhigh at
spotlight
this
on you
point,
guys.
or is Shibble still high?
Shibble's unhigh.
Shibble is
Shibble
sober now.
is sober, which
Guys, like,
means I know
maybe
my
we should
enemy
just-
now.
Maybe we should just like hug it out.
Sam, no. Resist the
I'm gonna spend a
lies.
fear here real quick, and I'm gonna do the spore lock pulse action. So I'm stealing the spotlight back to me. This is my AOE, like close range AOE.
Oh, shoot.
I make an attack roll. It's one attack roll for everybody, as the shell of spores fly out from this creature. It's a 9. 22 to hit.
You already know.
But yeah,
You don't even have to say.
and so you guys, everybody that gets hit is subject to D6 physical damage.
Shoot.
Is it physical or magical? Magic damage. So it is 5 points of magic damage. And
I feel like you're rolling kind of bad on these damages.
yeah, I'm not rolling very well. The first damage roll I did very well on it, and since then I've been rolling poorly.
So
You
it doesn't
guys,
make
everybody that gets hit is immediately, so that would be everybody but Nadezhda, because it's AoE of close range. So everybody gets hit. So Nadezhda doesn't, and you guys are all restrained.
I already was. I never freed myself.
Yeah.
and it doesn't make any difference in the amount of damage I take. But 4 of that damage does get absorbed into my Alundran chain trench coat.
Nice.
Sick.
So I don't take any damage either.
No, you are outside the
That would
range of
change
this.
this whole fight. Awesome.
You've been on the periphery of the battlefield the entire time, including above it. I'm also going to spend a fear at this point. Now that everybody is well, 3 of you guys
Is
are.
that your last one?
No, I
It's
have
close.
one more after this,
Ooh. I was close.
and I'm as large roots and vines start to move toward you guys, and seams start to open up in these vines, and they begin to wrap themselves around your restrained bodies.
Or are they just regular old
Not
organic
me.
No, they are
vines?
you're being absorbed into the interior of these vines.
Freaky.
Including me or only
No,
the
not you.
ones? Okay.
You're
Just the restrained ones.
chilling.
So
Nadezhda's doing great.
Fantastic
Nadezhda's just
fight.
gonna leave.
Okay.
So she's like,
So-
Nadezhda, shoot her.
No, it's gonna ricochet.
they're regular old self-moving vines that are opening up and swallowing you.
But like,
into the
are
interior.
they ley line conduits or are they just
No, they're
regular
not
old
conduits. No. These are
weird vines?
these are something hanging down from the ceiling.
I don't know who an innocent apple is, but they're really cracking me up in the chat.
Yeah, they're very funny.
Yeah.
They're very funny.
Ugh, okay, well,
Is it only our legs that are restrained?
Yes. So you guys are, just to be
Okay.
clear,
Do
you guys
the vines
are,
attempt to grapple the moose?
yes, they do attempt to grapple the moose. Absolutely.
Good to know.
well, I think I might be the only one who can attack without moving, so I'm gonna do it again.
No, from where you're standing, I believe Shibble can attack as well.
Sweet Chibble, go for it.
Yeah, if I'm in melee range of the pangolin, I'd like to whack it again.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna. That is a 16 to hit.
That hits.
That will be with fear, though, so you're getting the spotlight back after this.
No,
Oh, I get a fear back. Yay.
it's about time though, honestly.
I am.
It really is. That was the longest we've ever gone.
I am using a Slayer die to add a d6 to my damage roll. So, okay, so that's gonna be. Math is hard. Okay. 16 damage.
16 damage. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Go
So
Shibble.
this thing drops out of pangolin form.
What
And-
form?
Rock.
What's that?
Into
think
what
it's-
form?
I can't hear you.
What form?
Oh, it just goes back to the form it was before, which is like
Rock
very
man?
similar to the very large mushroom you guys saw.
Okay.
Are the vines still.
Grabbing
Yes.
us.
And Sam's still vibing.
Yeah, Sam's still vibing. Yep.
All right, Rana blades it, I guess.
Wait, no, I have is
Oh,
fear,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's my
it's your
turn.
turn. I forgot. It had been so long.
I'm
Million
gonna
points
do
of damage to everyone except Nadezhda.
I'm gonna do stone cap attack. So this is gonna be the defender rears up and slams its mass downwards, crushing everything beneath it. This is a melee attack roll against one creature. It's gonna be against Sam. So this is gonna be
No.
What?
6.
Sam, no.
And it becomes this is its strongest attack by far.
Well, how many HP do you have, Sam? Or how many?
Sam's taking a lot of
4
damage.
more?
Just one more?
No, I have 4 more.
Okay.
Because basically every time I've taken damage, it's been minor.
Okay. You really scared me for a second.
Sam, you take 20 points of physical damage.
All right. Can I mark an armor slot?
Yes.
So I'll reduce that down to minor.
Okay. And you are no, you can't be pushed because you're restrained right now. Otherwise, you'd be pushed one zone away. But you are being eaten by this vine. You are now prone and being eaten by this vine.
Well,
Vibes.
yeah. Just dancing with
Yeah, Azure's vibing too.
Azure is not very empathetic for a mushroom.
No, it's so empathetic. It's empathetic to everyone, including the pangolin.
Yeah. It's your turn. You guys have the spotlight.
Now, an automatic weapon,
It's gonna
My
ricochet.
God.
I don't have to shoot the mushroom. I can shoot the tops of the vines. Like I can spray it over the top of the vine.
Okay.
Literally, I just wrote this down so I have no stats for it. Can I make that a finesse roll?
Yes, it would definitely be a finesse roll. It's going to be with disadvantage. Oh, wow. Wow. Holy shit. Well, okay.
I can
Let
take.
us. How does describe Nadezhda discovering she's into gun kata?
Okay, Nadezhda,
you've got to have one in each hand, right?
still in a sex swing, hooks her leg around one vine, takes the automatic weapon off of her, and she does like this. Takes the automatic weapon off of her back.
She's
and
like
uses-
Bayonetta or something. Like,
Uses the sex swing to like swivel to paint the entire like an arc of bullets to which sever all of these vines coming down from the ceiling. I guess blows the smoke off the gun. That's how we do it in Vex.
I'm inspired.
God,
I'm like, wow, I need to take your
Yeah.
culture more seriously.
So one, you absolutely shoot all these vines down on a crit. Two, everybody who is being eaten a little bit by the vines, you are like inspired in some way. You get advantage on your next attack.
I'm gonna write a poem about this moment.
Thank you,
And-
Cordelia.
Yeah, I think keep going.
Yeah, very lucky it was a crit because it was 2 2s.
Shibble, whack it.
What am I whacking?
The mushroom.
I'll whack literally anything. All right, but I'm gonna add. Do you want punch with that to add 2 to that? So that's going to be 17 with hope to hit.
That absolutely hits.
Great. So then, oh my, that's not a lot of damage at all. That's only 9 damage.
Let me tell you something. Any amount of damage is 1 HP's worth of damage to this thing right now,
Yay,
which is
Shibble.
all it has left.
Woo!
You
So,
did it.
Shibble, you just describe how you knock this thing over.
I mean, I imagine not so much knocking it over, so much as smashing it down. Like
Oh, I like
just
that.
like mace two-handed over the head and just like,
A bonk.
yeah, bonk.
Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, you hit this giant mushroom. This thing is like 10 feet tall. You hit it over the head with your mace, and it just smashes to the ground and scatters. And like all the parts that scatter are like somewhere between like living plant matter and like mechanical, like pulleys and levers and cantilevers and like pumps and all the things that like make like actual plant leaves move when they to follow the sunlight are these like yeah, and you bonk the shit out of this mushroom and it effectively disintegrates into spores in the room around you. And as that happens, Azure's like, I knew it. I knew I picked the right people. Thank you so much. Get its heart, find its heart, put it into the lock.
And same as just dancing in the spore rain.
This room in this moment, Shibble, is absolutely indiscernible from the last moment you were in when you were like tripping out and walking down that mountainside and looking at that door. It is absolutely indiscernible. And you realize that you've been here before because you were brought here by Azure.
Whoa.
And because of that, you find the heart of this a mechanical heart. It's like a little like ultraviolet incandescent bulb. So like this big, and you are. Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you.
And you are able to you find it in the pile of stuff in the center of this devastation pile, and you in the middle of this sort of the room, you realize that the clock was actually the room.
Wait, can we run the clock number?
You
Yeah.
stated that well.
That's what you
Yet I'm
described
also
with
angry.
prepositions by clock directions.
Grudging
Yeah.
admiration, applause, Jaime.
Thank you. You got, but yeah, you find this little bulb, and there's like a slot in the center of the room where the hands would cross, and you put it in that slot, and the door slides behind you. You hear like sound of stone, like against stone, smooth, like slide across, and you turn around, and the door is like swinging inward to the chamber that you're in.
Okay.
And beyond the door, you see white filaments climbing the walls of an obsidian shining obelisk.
Lattice?
Something like a lattice.
Ooh. Nadezhda swings on the sex. Aw.
You're gonna have to come down.
You can't
I
spend
like
the rest of your
it.
life in this sex swing of responsibilities.
You're being very uncharacteristically silly. I don't know whether to be proud or scared. Is it the vodka?
It's the swing. It's awakened something in Nadezhda.
Sam is still high a little bit, I think.
I guess which one of us should go in?
I can go in invisible, or Shibble can go in, because Shibble's got a really good connection with Azure.
Sam just kind of stumbles in.
I also have a really good connection with going through doors, so I'm going in.
I guess I'll go too. I'll
Yeah,
follow
me too.
Shibble.
I jump off a swing, which now that the hinges are warming up is giving off a weird smell, and follow everyone else into the obelisk room.
So yeah, this room is it's not even like a room, it's like a hallway that leads to nothing. It basically just guides you toward a place where these filaments grow off of this. Somebody give me an instinct roll or knowledge roll.
I'll take instinct. That's actually really good. Math is hard. 22 with
22.
fear.
Okay, that tracks. I think, Shibble, what you realize in this moment, you've seen this texture of this sort of obsidian, like volcanic dark glass before. This is the Storm Spire underground.
We went down. We can go up.
We have to get up to get down.
Gotta get up to get down. No. Yeah, this lattice is growing out on the outside of the Storm Spire.
Freaky. Guys, don't touch the spire. Weird stuff happens.
Well, all right.
Or maybe do. I don't know. Do you want weird stuff to happen?
Well,
No.
I mean, do we have time for a rest? Because I'm pretty spent.
Yeah.
What do you think, Azure?
Azure is ecstatic at the moment. I get to go home. I get to go home and see my family and all of my friends. I can't remember their faces. Why can't I remember their faces? They look suddenly kind of crestfallen.
Wait, yeah, weren't we supposed to find them?
We have to find them. They're stuck. They're lost. We have to save them. This is the door through for people like you, but it's also the shield that protects it from everybody. Should we go in?
Is it dangerous?
If we go through, I fear that we might make some people vulnerable.
Maybe we should rest first.
Yeah, you guys, we can take a rest. Also, it is 10:30, which is
Yeah.
generally when we are done for the evening for the show. So we can call the session here.
Yeah, we can
and-
resume when we're back in the store next week.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I guess we are gonna let's call the session there. Let's just go straight into No But Humans. If you guys into the after show,
Sounds good.
we don't even need to transition it at all. I'll make a title change real quick.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And if you have any questions, let us know. We're gonna talk about the session now. So yeah, what'd you guys think?
Whew. Love that Nadezhda lost all of that whimsy as soon as she came down.
That's enough of that.
I think that was certainly maybe the toughest combat we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was the toughest. I mean, rolls aside, like you guys have been very lucky in a lot of combats with really good rolls, but this was a very meticulously crafted stat block to work with that was not focused so much on harm as it was like on impeding your progress.
Yeah, because I thought the the after party fight was more difficult, but I suppose mechanically this one was more challenging in that like it set up a lot of roadblocks for us versus the after party fight, which was just insane amounts of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the after party fight was you guys going up against tier 4
And
stat blocks.
without and
Wow,
without me,
we never knew that.
was you were one person.
Wait,
Wait, Parker, say that again.
Well, you were down a person in the after party fight because I wasn't there.
yeah.
Yeah. And you guys were going up against tier 4.
Wait, so we actually did really well in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't force death moves, so that is good.
I think
But
my
yeah.
strategy was like, there's no way I can um measure up to what damage every single one of you can do. So it's like maybe I can help them into the treetops so they can avoid like the soft ground mechanic. No? Okay. Maybe I can pick the lock on the door. No?
No,
Okay.
you picked the lock on the door. You did pick the lock on the door. You advanced the part. There was like supposed to be a puzzle after the creature was killed to determine how to move it forward. And basically, your role there negated that puzzle.
But
So
so I was trying to I felt a little bad, like I avoid all damage. I
No,
stay
it's
out of
great.
every range. I just sort
Yeah.
of hang back, but I was
I
just
think
trying to
that
figure out
the
something.
problem is Sybil and I are very punch based,
Yeah.
so getting far away from the thing does not
Yeah.
help us much.
And I'm afraid of heights now, so
Only just now.
more so. Since it's since it's escalating, I'm going to have it be more pressing rather than just being like, I don't like standing here.
what do you guys think is on the other side of that door or of the
Of the
like? Where do you think
spire.
the hallway goes? Yeah.
I mean, some kind of fun girl hangout,
Different plane, probably.
blood plane.
Blood plane.
I wish
Could
I'd
be.
now that I guess we could maybe wander back and see if anyone else has come through. I mean, the fact that there's a armored pangolin and a rusty lock and you have to feed the clock its heart.
Somehow the Vexens are
It
getting
makes
through.
sense.
But
I mean, they
maybe
go somewhere.
maybe
Maybe not.
they're just getting through by the virtue of being like, clock guardian, that's ridiculous. You just walk where you want to walk.
I don't believe in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Somehow they're getting through though, I'm assuming.
No. Yeah, they're getting through somewhere, but maybe not here.
Mm-hmm.
But where do I think it could go? Well, we've seen that it goes. Shibble can. I feel like it maybe could go anywhere because Azure took Shibble through,
Maybe
right?
anywhere that's on the spell grid.
And Shibble
Well,
went to got brought through here and too fused by Azure, like rescuing them.
and we know that somehow this is enabling travel to Vex too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the Vexens are getting through somehow. I think perhaps maybe it can go where the spell grid goes, because Fuse's hackers, they've got massive amounts of spell grid technology there. And I also know, I don't know if I've really talked about this, that I mean, I was talking with Esther about it before the session today, but I don't know if I've talked about it with everyone else. The spell grid is just like a facsimile on top of ley lines. So if the spire's the convergence of all ley lines, it makes sense that then you could traverse the spell grid as well.
That's good reasoning, I think. Without giving things away, I think that's very good reasoning.
Hell yeah.
What if it's not where it goes, but when it
When?
goes?
Ooh, that's very fun, girl.
I mean, that would explain how the old world Roomba ended up in there.
It's
With
true.
the old world Roomba.
Maybe
The
instead
old
of
world death Roomba.
falling out of someone's house 200 years ago, maybe it just wandered out of the portal like 2 days ago.
Maybe that's how Carrie got to the door plane. Going to the door plane.
Maybe we have to go back in time and stop Cordelia from blowing up the Iron Ward.
I think, is that Cordelia or is that Libby?
I don't know.
Or is it Elspeth? The
Elspeth,
world
yeah.
will never know.
There's also the consideration, like, if the ley lines all converge here because of the storm spire, is it almost like a magnet drawing all the iron filings to one place? I mean, we're talking about how Vescarre is the only place with magic.
With this much magic.
Maybe it's like wrenching the magic out of place for the rest of the world. I don't know.
That's cool. What I'm interested in is it doesn't
Focusing on Jaime's face as we're all talking.
it
Did
doesn't
something.
What? I didn't do anything.
Just seeing if
Yeah, that's
because
true.
we thought we would, or at least it seemed
Well,
like last week you guys thought
we
you
s-
would find something down here.
we have a piece of it, which is that we know that this underground area was way farther underground. It got shoved up for some reason. So we know that that's kind of what caused it. We don't know what caused that.
Well, so the Fraists knew something was up somehow. So I don't know.
I think Azure
we
has
should something
mentioned a couple
completely different.
times that the rest of Vescar did something that
Mhm.
made it necessary for her to find people to help her.
Mhm.
And that thing unleashed, that's what unleashed the golem that you guys fought.
Yeah, because before I had been thinking that she was talking about Eidolons, but that happened way too far before. Like, there had to have been some sort of dramatic thing that happened. And we just don't know what it is. And it seems like the High Arcadians don't either.
Well, I mean, note that the Visagin Codex God has been around for a lot longer than the other ones.
Exactly. So, like, that's why it's, like, probably not the Eidolons. It's something else. Hoover's been around the block a while.
I signed on to this name and I categorically refuse to use it.
That's why I keep saying it, because I know you hate it, but it's so fun to say.
I wrote that name down on paper and introduced this character to you as this, and I'm
I'll
still
never
like,
let it go.
We could be talking about Jehoover a lot more. Sam honestly ignores Jehoover
I try not to think about Cooper.
concerningly large degree.
well, thank you.
See,
An
if
innocent apple gifted a tier 1 sub.
Wow. And complimented my use of the word facsimile. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, next week we are back in studio. Hopefully, I mean,
that's
assuming
funny.
that
They
the weather
gifted
doesn't go
They
crazy.
gifted a tier 1 sub to me.
Wow.
We'll pass it on. We'll pass that on to somebody. But yeah, next week we are back in the studio, and assuming that there's not more weird weather happening,
I don't think there is.
and I hope not.
Knock on wood.
And other than that, thank you for joining us at Innocent Apple, and we'll be back. We're live Fridays at 6:30 Central Time, so modulate that for wherever you are locally. Yeah, it's gonna be a weekend, so buckle up. Yeah, things are very cold here in Chicago. It is really. It's the kind of cold where when you go outside, and you open your mouth, it hurts.
It gives you a
Yeah.
headache somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it
inside
hurts the
your
back of my
eyeballs.
neck.
this is
Yeah.
like when I moved to Chicago, this is what people thought every winter was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Eric was here for a job the last time it was this cold, and this kind of painted the picture of what we expected winter to be like here back on the East Coast.
We are all in Chicago. We are not all from Chicago originally.
Yeah, only one of us is from Chicago originally.
I guess also probably Innocent Apple doesn't know this. We're usually in person, like we're usually together.
And
We're
much
only remote because of the weather.
we're usually much
Yeah.
higher production value with like lights and music and stuff.
Music and yeah, we have a table and cameras and it's a lot of fun. Check it out. We have a blast doing it. It is really cool. And I hear Eric laughing. I think he's laughing because I was talking about him.
Cute.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope everybody stays warm and safe this weekend and always. And I will catch everybody next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.